Warning, the following may contain material that is unsuitable for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. We now join the show's host prior to the beginning of the program.
What are your thoughts about winning the championship and finishing up at family?
I mean, it's awesome. You know, it's a great way to go out. You know, it's been my dream to win a national championship there, and I finally got one as a starter. So,
do you know who that is, Shane? We should play this game like Howard plays these audio games and see if Shane...
Oh, is the center?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Boseman?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Scott won. He won one before. I mean, he started as a freshman punter.
Right. I got one more from...
Oh, that was the key.
Hey, can you evaluate your play this week?
Oh, that's not it.
Yeah, well, I thought I was playing really well.
I like the kid that told you that he was just kind of going through the motions.
I know.
Dude, what the fuck? Shut up.
Is that Coletta?
No, Gallup, the wide receiver.
Yeah, Gallup.
Lauren's boy.
You know who else was a good interview was this guy. I haven't used him yet.
Did you see the Bears hired a new coach tonight?
No, who?
No.
Donovan Raiola, Dominic's younger brother. He's just got named the assistant O-line coach.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
He was with the Bears for a little bit back in 2009, like in the preseason.
He was
So that'll
a graduate assistant, or he was playing?
He was playing. He was on the roster.
He was?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that. I remember Butkus's kid as a center.
Luke, yeah.
Luke.
But that'll give Kreutz a big in because Olin and Dominic are like attached at the hip. They're real close.
So is Olin and Eiston.
Yeah.
What are things you need to work on?
My strength is my versatility, my athleticism. You can put me anywhere, and I'm going to make a play. And I'm easy to adapt to different things and to get through adversity. So if it's a hard game, I'm just going to still have that winning mentality. And just my weakness is probably just consistency. Just staying consistent, down in, down out, just staying explosive and dominating the entire game.
Who's that?
It's got to be Hand.
Deshaun Hand.
Nice.
He's really selling himself there. I would have said something to him.
What would you have said?
I said, listen, bro, keep it real. Don't fucking try to sell yourself.
That's the one thing with the Alabama boys. So there's so many of them that are just better in fucking college, dude. Saban kicks the snot out of those fuckers. They do.
I don't know. They've all been playing pretty good in the NFL.
Yeah, the DBs.
Remember Ashawn Robinson? He's only a fucking
86th best player or 88th,
Oh, yeah.
whatever the fuck it was.
89th best player in the draft.
Phil, all things, you're on the clock right now, and you want to take an edge. I'm going Edmonds over Davenport all day long.
Edmonds.
Yeah, Tremaine Edmonds.
The kid from Virginia Tech?
Yeah, because you can play him inside, and I think he can project outside too.
I fucking love Davenport.
Edmonds is 19 years old, dude.
For the record, even though we're not on the record, but Aldo's always fucking recording, so you better watch yourself. You better watch your step. The kid Edmonds is absolutely fantastic. He really is.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, that he could be used as that
My
chess
thing
piece that can move everywhere.
Fuck, dude. Can you imagine him, Fangio, moving him, inside to inside linebacker in like if they're doing their NASCAR package or whatever? You know what I mean? Yeah, fucking Floyd out there, and however the shit shakes out, I think he can do so much with that kid. I really do.
We'll say he goes and they go out opening free agency night and they get Ansah. That's their fucking focus, right? Now you got that edge opposite Floyd and whoever else they're gonna bring in. Now, Edmonds becomes honestly the fucking bullseye because you filled edge rusher is the number one need in my assessment of this roster.
Easily, I think.
It's not even exactly. It's not like people are saying corner and receiver. To me, it's quarterback Aldo, one edge, outside linebacker. If you're in a 4-3, pass rusher, defensive end, anybody that's getting to the quarterback from the edge So, to me, it's not even close. They need to fucking get an edge presence. Free agency or the draft. If you don't get it in free agency, you gotta get it first round in the draft. And I like a few rushers, but Davenport to me is. I love Chubb too.
Oh, I still think there's a shot. He drops, dude.
Chubb?
These are to us. I'm talking about the 8.
Yeah, that'll be my dilemma. But that's the kind of dilemma I have not had at a draft.
Yeah.
In a long time, because then I'd be happy with either.
I know it's early, but I'm Edmonds, man. Something about that kid.
Dude, he's the
so
black
explosive.
Urlacher.
Yeah.
Black Urlacher, I call him. Blacker.
So this is to the wide receiver people. Listen to this. Since 2007, 5 wide receivers have had 1,000-yard season in year 1. 5 since 2007. It's 10 years. 40 have had 50-catch seasons. Most of those 50-catch guys peaked that first year. 2017 season saw 2 guys, Cooper Kupp and Juju. They were the 6th and 7th receivers off the board. You fucking cannot draft a wide receiver at number 8.
Right. I agree.
You can't. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Ridley's game, but I can't fucking do it. I cannot do it. They have no pass rushers, man. Dude, they don't have a fucking Floyd.
Tale as old as time.
Yeah.
When have we had them? Everyone's jumping the Leonard Floyd train. I'm waiting for the fucking thing to get finally across to the Midwest. It's like, you can't.
How many games did he miss this year? When did he go out?
A lot.
Well, I mean, that wasn't on him. That was on Fuller. But how many games did he miss?
Do your research.
That was actually his best game. That's the fucking sad part about it. I was like, this dude's turning a corner because he was playing physical. That was against Detroit.
So they're lucky that wasn't a lot worse than it was. He missed 6 games.
6 games. The year before, he missed how many?
4.
But he went out of 1.5. I think he went out of 2, actually. The Packer game, and then he went out another game. He had a concussion. Well, I can't wait to do the Leonard Floyd show.
When do you want to do that?
I don't know, when you have someone that's such a big supporter of Floyd kind of wear a man bun and profess their love on the show.
You want me to book Ziglinski? I'll book him for March.
Get him in.
We're going to get Hogue. Hogue next week, I think it is. And what's his name the week after? Parkins disease. No. What? How does Hogue go Hogue? It's Hodge.
No, it's Hogue.
I know, but why is it sounding like Hogue? But it's really Hodge. Like Merrill Hodge. Same name.
It's H-O-G-E.
It's whatever the fuck he wants it to be.
But Hodge is H-O-G-E too.
Yeah, but he's all fucked up. You talk about concussion. He probably doesn't even know what his name is.
There was a kid in my town with the same name. H-O-G-E. They said Hodge too. I don't know if you wanted to watch Trump now, Aldo. We'll pause.
No, fuck that. Shit. Unless... Oh, I didn't say that.
Are we recording?
Let's pause for station identification.
You guys want to start?
Let's do it.
Hey, what is this the most beautiful person in the world thing that I got in the lineup?
Oh, because Bears Girl sent out a tweet, and it was talking about Rihanna being the most beautiful human being on the planet.
Human being?
Yes.
No way.
And I'm like, what?
I'd fuck her, but no.
That's going to have to be a poll.
Okay.
Because she is not in my top 10 of most beautiful people in the world.
Hey, so Riley pitched me a show idea last night.
Awesome.
No bullshit.
Kid is pitching shows.
We're sitting down eating dinner, and he's like, "Daddy, when are you guys recording again?" And I said, "Well, tomorrow night." He's like, "Well, talk to Aldo." And he goes, You have to have on Phil's kids, and I'll come on, and we'll do the kids of the bar room, and we'll talk about the Bears football."
Oh, that's awesome. I love that idea.
Do a fucking 5-10 minute segment with kids. It'd be fucking hilarious.
Oh, for sure.
That'd be a perfect off-season show. You know, when we're going through the doldrums.
I love it.
I'll give them full autonomy to swear and drop F-bombs. Everybody be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Child services.
Yeah.
We're looking for Mr. Marsaw. We have reports of a foul-mouthed young chap.
Oh my God. His mother's worse than
Hello
that is.
again, dumbbell. Hello again, dumbbell.
It's a good drop. Just found it.
Are we gonna get Trey Busy on?
I reached out to him. He hasn't.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Aldo.
This is Bears 100 Proof. I am a sick Aldo Gandia. I got a cold down in Mobile, Alabama, and who knows what the hell else I contacted down there. I definitely have to get a physical after a week down there. But don't you worry, the stars of this nightclub act are with me. They are, of course, Draft Dr. Phil Ottochian and Shayne, the smartest man in the bar room, Marsaw. Fellas, we have to start with the Senior Bowl. I want to get your comments on it. I know you're still looking at tape and studying material, so we'll probably talk about it some tonight and again in future shows, because there's a lot of talent down there and a lot of draft possibilities. But I want to get your just overall general thoughts, and maybe I can share a story or a couple of sound bites that I picked up down there. I actually got to meet a couple of the Bama boys that Marsaw is in love with, and maybe play a little something from those guys.
Hey, that's a national champion, Bama boys.
I don't know. UCF.
Roll Tide. Yeah, fuck them.
UCF.
Damian Harris had it right. He tweeted him back, and he said, "Hey, you guys got a picture standing with the trophy anywhere? Haven't seen the trophy yet." That's in Tuscaloosa. Roll Tide, roll.
There is a certain swagger to those guys, and there were two of them down at the Senior Bowl, and Bradley Bozeman, who was, a typical center, kind of humble and stuff, and then when you see him anywhere near a football field, he all of a sudden turns into an ornery sucker. And Deshaun Hand, very, very confident young man, walks and talks with the swagger to him. Maybe we'll play a little sound of those guys. But I want to start, first of all, with asking Phil this question. We did not have a show last week. We didn't even have a Bears Hour Live. So I want to know what kind of withdrawals you went through the entire week, not being able to talk football.
Texting me like crazy.
Oh, really?
He needed his Bears 100 proof fix. Fuck is going on?
Like an alky, right?
Fucking Armageddon. I need my barfly fix. I'm having cold chills. I'm gonna have to go play my CD in my car to calm down.
We have to plan a trip down there. We could do a show live every day. Get there on Radio Row and just pull players. And Phil, you could do your interviews with these guys. We just get down there for 2 or 3 days next year.
Yeah, as long as Bears Girl puts that in the budget for the guy that has more than 3 kids.
That's right. We gotta
have Nikki drive us.
Will we make?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Nikki Kurtz, famous for not making it to destinations other than ESPN. He got there actually before me. And
he was ready.
Yeah, he was ready. But since then, we employed him, and I haven't fucking seen or heard from him since.
Well, it's because he dropped his phone.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has
Got no way to contact him.
is no longer in service.
Free Nikki.
Nikki Kurtz, wherever you are, please contact me. I asked you for some audio tape 3 weeks ago. I haven't seen it or heard it. What the hell's going on? But nonetheless, we love you. But Phil, are you okay? I was just kind of worried about you.
I was chomping at the bit to talk ball. I mean, why do we do this? Why do we love it? Because we enjoy
the chicks.
Oh my God!
I missed my friends and talking football. That's and family. Yeah, we get chicks out of this, Aldo.
Oh, I want to fuck you so bad. I miss you.
My wife was happy. She got this. It was the birthday week for the boys. I got to do all these extra honey-do lists.
Yeah, you scored some points, huh?
Yeah, I got some extra points. She's getting that baby fever, too, so it was a good few nights last week.
You got a cute family already. You got 4 kids, you got twins, 2 girls. Man, what's going on, bro? You want to add more kids?
I know.
He needs a couple more.
No couple.
Twin girls, or maybe one of each.
I mean, with Trump's new tax law,
stick him up.
Might help me get a couple more kids in the booth. Or is he going the other way? I don't know anything about politics.
Yeah, let's not talk about that tonight.
Tonight
is the State of the Union address, and I'm missing it to talk to my boys here, and there's no place I'd rather be than talking football with these 2 guys and away from the State of the Union address, to be honest with you. All right, let's
I got to say, Aldo, quick, I thought you did a tremendous job bringing the barfly on the field and really giving a little bit of extra sauce, hot sauce, adding some new characters into the show. West Coast Phil bringing a new vibe to the energy of the bar room.
I can't wait to
do you did a great job,
meet.
though. You personally, though.
Thank you.
I know you did a great job getting the personality of the player. And I think that's important to point out. I enjoyed the coverage that you brought.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Although I got to tell you that it was a little bit challenging for me at times because these guys were supposed to wear their name tags, and when they weren't wearing them, they were wearing them, and they were flipped to the side where I couldn't see the name. So I'm going up there, and I'm listening to other reporters to see if I can get a clue as to who he's talking to and stuff. and then so when I didn't know who it was, I would politely ask the question. I would say, hey, for my editor who's editing this, what is your name, and spell it for me, please? Because I know your name.
Aldo, why do you think when you texted us and said, hey, who do you guys want me to talk to? We wanted you to go talk to the Oklahoma Edge. We wanted you to get up there and call them something crazy like Oreo Akingakwe or something.
Well, and all the evidence is there too. On the final night, I went out after the game and I had a few drinks at a Mexican restaurant, and I went home and I wanted to tweet out a few of the interviews that I thought were pretty cool. And I tweeted out an interview with an offensive lineman who I totally misidentified as Kobe Gossett. And then the real Kobe Gossett replies to the tweet saying, hey, that's not me. That's, I'm forgetting the guy's name from Nevada now. But thanks anyway.
You are so stupid.
So
Aldo representing the Bears bar room.
So,
is that the same Mexican restaurant? We got the picture of you took a selfie with the waitress.
That's right.
Oh, the waitress.
Yeah.
What was her name?
Her name was
Aviana.
Yeah,
Mrs. Richard Strong.
Little payback for Richard trying to hit on my wife. You know what? I forgot her name too, but she was a gorgeous lady, and man, the hot sauce was unbelievable.
Now, does your wife get upset that you're taking a selfie with some stranger?
Only if she knew about it.
Oh, if she did, okay. So Aldo deleted that quick off his phone.
Oh yeah, it's there along with it's in the cyber garbage can along with pictures of me masturbating. All right, everybody always sends me DMs. Hey, we wanna hear stories about your personal life, Aldo, because we know about Shayne, we know about Phil, and so there you have it. I go on the road, I talk to a Mexican waitress, and then I go back to the room and masturbate.
Did you wake up with any panties on your head?
No, I did not. Damn it.
Did you vomit?
I did not. No, I did not. But I did catch a cold. I did catch a cold and an ear infection. So let's talk football now, guys. What about the Senior Bowl? Let me begin with you, Phil. What were your overall impressions of the game, and were there any particular players that stood out to you and you said, oh, my God, this guy would look good in burnt orange and navy blue?
There's a lot of talent out there. When you look at the game, obviously a lot of talk is going to be about the quarterbacks. I really obviously was blown away by Davenport from San Antonio, Texas, University of San Antonio, Texas, the Roadrunners, Aldo. I've gotten a heads up about this kid because we have been looking at David Morgan last year, the tight end, and you just happened to stumble upon players, and then for him to take the rise that he did, some players just blossom and grow into their bodies and have natural traits that they carry over with their size. And this is a guy I really believe through the week. I know this. It's funny how everybody sees things differently than you. So the only person I trust really is me. And I'm batting in the good percentage. You're not going to get things right all the time. It's just no one's going to do it. It's just there's so many things that stats and 40 times and weight distributed, how much that you just can't get into the mental makeup of this game.
Yep.
So that's why when Aldo gets down on the stage and the field and talks to these players, you really can understand who has that swagger, as he's saying, as well as the mindset, the football mindset of the X's and O's and the intellect and guys that are able to articulate. So just seeing this kid, you interviewed him as well, or caught him in an interview, and I thought he's, really did well for himself. Coming from a smaller school, there's going to be biases and knocks, and you saw that to begin, and then you see the tidal wave onto the Davenport side, and whatever he did in the game, that's fine and dandy. I just saw him in drills on ESPN, and I taped. I'm sure Shayne did the same thing, the NFL Network, and really they give you just great angles to these drills and isolated plays that you want to see in individual drills. That kid's talent to me at this stage versus what I saw in Floyd coming out, I just see the polish and the freakish ability that you see in Floyd, but this kid's bigger and stronger. I listened to you, Aldo, today on Tap with Rainey, West Coast Phil, and Shimon. I always said it Shyman. So
yeah, that was my fault because I was mispronouncing it for 3 years.
So just listening to you guys talk is a lot of checks in the same box that I'm checking with a lot of the guys you talked about. But I know you talked about this kid too, and I believe in this kid, and I believe in what I see that I want to see in an edge rusher. This kid has it. It's aggressiveness, explosion, and the ability to naturally understand quarterback's launch point. And he did it in the game. He did it in the practices that I wanted to see. And when you have that naturally, like I remember, what's the kid that played for the Detroit Lions? Then he went to the Seahawks. He's still rushing the passer. What was that kid's name, Shane?
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He's traveled now. He was on NFL Network. He's just a natural rusher. Yeah. He's always been there. He's not the fastest, not the best. He's just got that natural ability to recognize where the quarterback's going to be and how to get there. I love that. John Randall from inside was like that. Didn't matter his size, just had that aggressiveness and that natural ability to do that. I mean, you saw it in a kid like, oh God, now I've lost his name. Again, I'm losing all these names. Guy from the Patriots fucking had 12 sacks, for God's sake. He looks like he's a fucking construction worker all day through the week. Ninkovich, right? Is that his name?
Rob Ninkovich?
Yeah, he just retired, right?
You're so dumb. You are really dumb.
Yeah, that's
for real.
Yeah, Ninkovich, just those type of guys that have that natural ability to rush the passer. This kid has it, and then you have the added size and the ability to put on weight. To me, that's a no-brainer. He's definitely in the conversation. I know prior to the show, and probably you'll use some of that audio, but Shane brought up his boy Edmonds from Virginia Tech, play inside and outside, and yes, that guy's in the conversation 100%. Shane put me on to him like, Phil, you got to watch this guy. Granted, he wasn't there at the Senior Bowl, but this kind of similar freakish film, if you have freakish plays accompanied by solid technique and consistency, then you could talk about these players in the first round. That's why we don't copy paste. We just try to do the homework on it and go through these guys realistically. We're going to see step for step with a lot of people, but we're also going to bring our own sense. And with that, it's another guy, Aldo, who I thought just on tape was phenomenal. And if you look at the Matt Nagy offensive philosophy, as well as the type of athlete you got in Kansas City and how their personnel is used, you look at James Washington, and I heard you and Lauren Cox talking about it. I just didn't agree at all. And that's where I boggled my mind with all these different takes. But when you see this kind of athlete on tape, not just working people's asses at practice at the Senior Bowl, this guy's a big-time playmaker. For his size, speed, 0 to 60, this guy is freaking phenomenally fast, built like a running back, but plays like a wide receiver. He's 5'11", but has, I think it was like 35 and 7/8 arms.
Yeah.
So you're looking at like a 6'3" wide receiver with that kind of arm length, and
right.
It shows up consistently. So if you have a wide receiver that reminds you of oh my God, Donald Driver and Marty Booker, me and Shane were talking about Marty Booker play here, was so overlooked, the kind of talent that guy had, but he didn't have the gear that Washington has. Washington's physicality in this NFL, where people are handsy, and you get to the second level, Washington is somebody that James Washington of Oklahoma State. In the practices, everything I wanted to see, the physicality just fits that Matt Nagy system and what they're doing. And also, you guys touched upon this football player, and I was happy that you did. The kid from NC State, I thought was absolutely tremendous.
Oh, that was who Danny was in love with.
Danny, yeah.
Oh,
he was tremendous.
Yeah, the kid who broke his hand after a day of practice, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
no.
the Shepherd kid.
That's the Shepherd
Jones is from NC State. The Shepherd kid, though.
His
Lauren Cox.
man crush, yeah. You're right.
Yeah, Lauren Cox was absolutely right. So it was funny because Lauren Shepherd, I thought, from what you got to see of him, was very short.
Justin Jones is his name.
Thank you, Justin Jones.
That's it.
I mean, those two NC State defensive linemen, a lot of my focus was on the defense. because I feel like that's where you're going to see the Bears go in the first round. I know there's a lot of talk about wide receiver and offense and what have you, and we're going to do it all. And I'm not going to break Shayne's bubble here, so I was just focusing on the defense. I thought Ogbanya Akawanokwo, the edge from Oklahoma, outside linebacker.
Try that again.
Akaranquo.
There you go. Oh my gosh, he is the smartest
Akaranquo.
Well done.
Speed, man.
Guy just flies. So then you add instincts, because a lot of people, I compared him to Rosie Colvin. He played here with the Bears.
And then the Patriots,
Shayne, then he went to the Patriots. He can be off the ball because he's so fast. He really is. He's so athletic. And the instincts, though, that he has when he's engaged as a rusher, similar to what you were talking about with the kid from the Patriots. You see this from this kind of athlete going that fast. So, and he's a finisher. Yeah. Like when he gets home to the quarterback, he puts his body into he goes after the football. I really love that about that kid. The kid Brown from Virginia as well, playing that 5 technique. I just thought he was tremendous. And he came in with a lot of like work ethic. Why wouldn't he dominate at Virginia? But there's flashes, and in a team game, it's very difficult to isolate. What are we going to get out of this football player? Yeah. So usually when you get to these bowl games where everybody's very talented, and you get these isolated situations, can he win that? And what kind of person is that kid? And you got to find that out. And Brown, for the football side of it, was somebody I felt like, wow, here's a 5 technique. Is he going to go in the first round? I know he made a lot of money by what he did and was able to do during the week and at the game. When you look at the defense, and I have a lot of notes, so I don't want to go too long.
Okay, Phil, wrap it up.
Well, we're going to be on this week of Bears Hour Live, so I want to go through every one of those notes there. But I also want to get Shayne in here because I know that he's got to wake up in about 3-4 hours to deliver the mail. So, Shayne, let me get your overall thoughts, and feel free to go half as long as Phil just did, which will give you about 10 minutes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Phil, I mean, all honesty up front, I haven't been able to watch the complete game yet, and I'm still trying to catch up on some, not most of the practices. I've made it through quite a few of them, but just work-related issues have prevented me from being totally caught up. But Phil's got a great list, just a couple of guys that he didn't mention that I'll throw out there that I myself, I don't know if Phil feels the same way, that I'm a fan of. Harrison Phillips from Stanford is the kid that I just sometimes when you watch these guys, you just sit there and you're watching him go through his drills, or you're looking back at some Stanford tape and watching him play. To me, he's got Chicago Bear written all over him.
Yes.
He's just he's you guys made fun of me, and I know Lauren actually brought it up when you guys talked. I think he said
it's a fabric play.
Shayne Marsaw coined the fabric player. I look at that kid as like the 2018 version of Mitch Unrein, but he's more explosive and he's going to bring more to the table. And I think you have to have players like that. And he was a lot of fun to watch just throughout practice, and that's a kid that I want to dive. I have him circled, and I always put stars next to guys from the Senior Bowl that I want to go back and dive into a little bit more. Phil really got onto my guy James Washington. Didn't really ball out what I've seen in the game too much, but the versatility that this kid is going to bring, or potentially bring, to the Bears in a Nagy system, like Phil said, is going to be something that we're not used to in Chicago. I mean, we've had these type of players. We saw it this year with the Tariq Cohen. We saw it before with Devin Hester. These guys were used really completely in the wrong way, and they have these special traits that are just, I mean, lack of coaching really limits how effective that they can be. And to me, Washington is that guy that you can put in there along with Cohen that's going to keep defensive coordinators up at night, just because you can do so many different things with these guys. When Phil and I were talking about him, I said, he's built a lot like Marty Booker. Marty Booker, he had the big hands and he wasn't the most explosive guy. You get that with Washington. He's got the big hands and long arms, like Phil said. But the versatility, I think that's what you're going to see a lot with the Chicago Bears, how as they transform this wide receiver core this year.
He's the perfect fit.
Yeah.
He's the perfect fit. Yeah.
We've talked a little bit where maybe true number one wide receiver, and you kind of see it playing out with the Super Bowl coming up, that maybe the true bona fide number one wide receiver isn't, maybe it's a little bit of a myth. And if you get if you can go after 3 or 4, guys that are number 2 guys that bring all that versatility to the table. I mean, you see that the New England Patriots really live by that with all these guys. You can just, Amendola goes down, and then they bring in, Chris Hogan is another guy, and Julian Edelman. They're all very similar. So, there's some size differences, but they're just so versatile. And I really think that that's the name of the game. I think that's going to be the name of the game finally in Chicago. So he's not the perfect prospect, but he may be perfect for what we need in Chicago going forward with our new head coach and our really new direction. And the other, I'm just going through my slow-ass iPad here, the other name that Phil didn't bring up was Darius Leonard, the linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was going to be my next guy.
Yeah,
I swear to God, I love this.
Big
You guys
fan.
brought him up on tap. I was like,
Yep.
Yep.
This
And he's
motherfucker can play ball, Shane. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
You can't go through and watch any of the practices, or, like I said, I'm not all the way through the game, but the kid just stands out in everything that he does. And the kid from Georgia, Phil, the inside linebacker.
Raquan Smith.
Yes. Yeah. You're talking about a kid there that's going to go high in the draft, and Leonard is the guy that maybe, he's not going to go top 10 or anything like that, but he's a guy that I'm really focusing on. You look at with Vic Fangio being back in Chicago, you look at his inside linebackers. They're not these big, imposing players, but they really lack some size, but they have these traits. They're explosive. They just have a nose for the football. And you watch this kid and you see all of those traits. And I really think the transformation of this defense, Danny Trevathan, I think, lived up to his billing this year finally because he was healthy. But he's just one of those guys you're always going to have that, is he going to be able to stay healthy? And I think, moving forward, Nick Kwiatkowski, he's been dinged up a little bit too. He is, like I said, he's a kid that I wouldn't mind adding to this, Leonard, adding him to this stable of linebackers moving forward, just because he's so explosive. And I think a guy like Vic Fangio could do a whole lot with that kid.
I have Darius Leonard in my notes. The first note, Aldo, says, underline, wow, exclamation.
He had quite the game on Saturday. He had 14 tackles to lead both teams. I had the opportunity to talk to him before the game and after the game. Let me play a little bit of sound from Darius Leonard so that everyone can get a chance to get a clue of his personality, which I thought was very cool. And I also want to play some sound from Harrison Phillips, who, as Shane said, oh man, you talk about a guy that just resembles a Chicago Bear. Harrison Phillips does. Let me play Darius Leonard first.
My expectation now to come out there and have a great week, and coming out to prove that I can actually play with the big guys.
And tell me a little bit about the scheme that was run at your school and how what you need to learn for the NFL game.
We kind of was a 3-4 base defense, but we actually played in the 4-3 as well. So basically the same thing in the NFL. That a lot of teams play 3-4, play 4-3. So I mean, it's kind of basically the same things, but different terminology.
What do you like to do most when you're on the football field? Do you like to get after the quarterback, drop back in coverage, play the run? Tell me a little bit about what your style on the field and what you prefer to do.
Oh, I definitely love to blitz. I love to get after the quarterback, kind of get him a little shaking, a little bit, trying to keep him on his toes, trying to get in his head a little bit, trying to take him off his game.
I also talked to Darius Leonard after the game, and he was really proud of himself and the way that he progressed every day after practice and was able to showcase that he's a sideline-to-sideline player, and we know already that he can get after the quarterback, which is what he loves to do. Now, I want to play a quick soundbite from Harrison Phillips, and I don't have this queued up. He was at they set up like 4 or 5 podiums on the side, and people could stick their microphones in there, and so I did, and let me just play a little bit for you so that you can hear his personality. And Danny Shimon told me this guy would be perfect for the Bears because he can play that outside defensive end position and spell Eddie Goldman at the 0 as well. He's got that capability. Here he is.
Out a few years, but in high school, that's all you did. It was see ball, go get ball. Harrison, go get the ball, go get the ball. And you know, I playing at high school level, the production was even more skyrocket. I think my senior year, I had almost 40 tackles for loss, but like almost 20 sacks. It was, and I don't know the level of competition difference as well. Completely understand that, but that was just go get. And when you can anticipate what you're going to get as a block just from tendencies and watching enough film, and you take that into consideration, if you know what's going to come and you're told just to go find the ball, it should be pretty easy to go get the ball. So if that's the type of defense that drafts me, I feel very comfortable playing in that.
I just love that attitude, man. I love that attitude. It says Bears football, you know, from the days of Butkus and on. Just tremendous attitude. I'd love to see those two guys with the Chicago Bears.
Breaking NFL news?
No, what you got?
No. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Washington Redskins have a deal in place that will see Alex Smith be traded to the Washington Redskins on the opening of the league year on March 14th. The deal's already in place.
Look
credit
at this.
Credit to Nicky. He just sent us the little
way to go, Nicky.
Stepping up.
Yeah,
He's stepping up and delivering for you.
He is alive. He is alive. So Nicky Kurtz. Thank you.
It's actually really Bears related, guys, when you think about it. Because, I mean, this whole quarterback game is going to now you're going to see Kirk Cousins is going somewhere. You know, is he going to be going to Denver? Is Jacksonville going to be making the play? And I mean, we want these quarterbacks to all be cramped into the top 10, and that's only going to help.
So you got to hope the Jets get him, right? Where are they picking?
6th, are they, or 7th? 6th, I believe.
6 is right.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, and Denver's 5th. So I think Denver's going to end up making a play.
Well, I got to tell you, too, that John Elway was at the Senior Bowl. I think that everybody saw a picture or video of him.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of John Elway this week. If you watched ESPN or NFL.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, John, what do you think of this play here? 7-on-7. Thanks, John.
All right. I want to ask you guys the same question that I asked Danny Shimon. You guys heard Bears on Tap with Danny Shimon and our new draft analyst, Phil Rainey, who we call West Coast Phil, so that we don't confuse him with our own draft Dr. Phil. But I asked Danny Shimon this question.
We got a East Coast, West Coast beef.
Yes,
Phil.
That's going to be pretty awesome.
I'm
I can't
Biggie,
wait. I cannot wait to have the two of you guys on the same show. That's going to be pure entertainment. And I asked Danny this question. I want you to hear his response. And then I want to pose it to you guys, too, because this has a lot to do with what I talked about last season when Shane announced that last season was going to be the year of the quarterback. And I said, maybe we should wait till 2018. So I asked Danny this question, and listen to this. Danny, a quick question for you. Josh Allen or Mitchell Trubisky?
Ooh. Well, I mean,
Come on, Danny, spit it out.
In terms of size, athleticism, arm strength, you got to go with Josh Allen. I mean, I don't think anybody matches him in this draft class. So, but in terms of, that's a tough question. Wow, caught me off guard there.
Do you really think the Bears are going to draft another quarterback this year?
No,
not at all. Just a hypothetical.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I would have to go with Trubisky mainly because of his accuracy and his ability to throw to a spot. He shows that he has the understanding of a passing game, how to throw a receiver open. Allen is getting there. Allen shows it in bits and pieces, but it's not consistent. So Trubisky, and I'm comparing him to his college days. It was one season, albeit 13 starts, but he did show that on tape last year. And so I would have to go with Trubisky in terms of that. But if you're talking about size, strengths, and arm size, arm strength, athleticism, I got to go with Josh Allen.
So what do you guys think? All right, let's go to Phil first. that would be East Coast Phil,
twice,
by the way.
Twice to me first tonight. This is a fucking record.
Don't get used to it.
Fucking Dustin must be in the producing booth over there.
Reagan Padilla.
For me, you all know I love Josh Allen, and I think the Twitter sphere, the draft Twitter and the glamour boys and the nerd herd all have a narrative that they want to deal with when you talk about quarterbacks of any kind. Saw it last year with my love affair with Watson, and the nerd herd came out. Every reason from frame rate to fucking ball velocity to this, that, and the other. The tape doesn't lie to me. Traits are what coaches want. It's not, every coach thinks he could fix them. It's every coach knows they could do, as long as they're listening to what's being coached up. And that's really what you saw transpire with Allen and how the NFL game, just trust me that I really believe in that football player. But that being said, I don't discount Trubisky's NFL starts. I don't do that in the comparison. I make the decision based on continuity, talent, and the fact that I believe your head coach is here for the young man that's going to be under center. And when I watched this young man on tape, and I just went through every game with a focus on Amos and Trubisky. That's what I started. And, I'm sure I'm going to do stuff with you, Aldo, for Bears Barroom throughout the spring on these players. But I just want the audience to know that I took the time because I really wanted to get into, without filming it, without doing anything, just watch it. And I got to say, your offensive coordinator, again, to remind you, was as dumb as a box of rocks. The fucking quarterback is accurate. He's athletic. He's confident. And in fact, the only defender to break this kid's confidence was the offender on the sideline, the head coach and the offensive coordinator. And I'm not doing that for this fanboy show. Mitchell Trubisky is fucking impressive to the nines. Talk about his footwork, talk about improvement. You want to see players improve. You want to see them get better. You want to see them get tough. and not be afraid. You want to see competitor as you saw him progress. And unfortunately, I'm sorry, there's a lot of fucking shoe salesmen as NFL coaches.
How does it feel?
Not too good. You've got my left shoe on my right foot.
You could say whatever about me.
Yes, you're an asshole.
I could give two shits. But I'm going to tell you the truth. There's friends that get hired that don't know shit, and they're there. And you got to teach them to teach. And it really is happening. It does. And then there's tremendous coaches. But when you see it, just like a mathematical equation for you fucking blog boys, you know how to fucking attack the mathematical equation, whether it's a word problem or whatever. You have the ability to see and recognize how it should be done. When I look at quarterbacks, you look at how this kid should have been used. And before the show, Barfly, shout out to Nelson, sent me this paragraph or 2 paragraphs from who just breaking news got traded to the Washington Redskins from Alex Smith. And he was talking about Mitchell Trubisky in such an honest and analytical way that he just threw Dowell Loggins and Fox under the bus without even fucking caring. And he talked about how they didn't, everything I talked about on the show. And it's not a pat on the back. It's just, it is what it is, Shane, right? It is what it is. And you talk about it 150 times. Let's do short, quick game to get his confidence up. And Alex is going, and maybe Aldo can grab that because I put it in the creative room. And it was Alex Smith talking about his feelings and how Mitchell Trubisky will get in. I don't know who the article was. It was just copied and sent to me by Nelson. So I would give them credit because it's great stuff. But, you know, I just wanted to point out that this football player in this process would be my choice. I know I went into a lot of Mitchell Trubisky, but it needed to be said. I've been gone for a couple weeks, and I've been so excited to share my excitement that underneath this clamshell, that dowel of stupidity, put Mitchell in, there is some great pearls of football that I've uncovered, and it's going to be fun to put it up there and really show it, because these fucking national narratives, I mean, when you look at a rookie doing what he's doing with shit wide receivers, a terrible play caller, facing 9 men in the box, and he should be threatening downfield, and he's not given the opportunity, and his confidence is getting depressed because he wants to compete. You're taking away, as Aldo said and Shane said on many a show, you're taking away what he does best. So with what I saw of Mitchell Trubisky when he was allowed to be him, I can't ever trade that away. As much as I love Josh Allen, Mitchell Trubisky impressed the shit out of me. And, you know, this is from a guy who loves Deshaun Watson and Josh Allen. Josh Allen, I had ranked over Watson. That's how much I feel like coaching is a huge issue with Josh Allen and talent surrounding him. So you'll see whoever takes him, and hopefully, you know, as Aldo's we talked about before, Aaron Rodgers, if he was drafted by the Bears, would he be Aaron Rodgers? You can't just say, oh, yeah, definitely. There are players, and I forget which show you did, that overcome the coaching. Walter Payton, a Barry Sanders, they're going to they can fit in any system. Doesn't matter. But there are other players that can't. And this quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky, really is I would stay with Mitchell Trubisky. And I just wanted to make sure it was known that he impressed the shit out of me, Shane. I'm sorry I took everything from you.
No,
what was the question again?
It is, though, a hyper-valid point that the marriage between the coaching staff and the coach is what ultimately makes the player. And the teammates, of course, and the offensive line, the receiving core, and so forth. Who knows what type of quarterback Dan Marino would have been under Bill Walsh, Joe Montana under Joe Blow.
You know, I personally.
But Bill Parcells and Joe Montana, would he be able to take the beating that Phil Sims took?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's
so
a
you're
great
100% right, Al.
It's a great point. I personally think that Joe Montana was the number one all-time greatest quarterback, and maybe now Tom Brady's taking that title away. But I thought Montana was, but if it wasn't because of Bill Walsh, then he probably would not even be on my top 10 list. It had a lot to do with the system and Walsh and that marriage with Montana's abilities that made him so great. But Shane, I want to get your point of view on this whole issue regarding Josh Allen and Mitchell Trubisky.
I'm trading all these motherfuckers for Matt Leinart. Fuck both you guys.
Where's Mr. Carter? He doesn't think coaching matters.
Yeah, fucking dude. It don't matter. No, I'm gonna walk hand in hand with Phil on this one. I'm higher on Josh Allen than draft Twitter. I think he's got, like Phil said, he's got a lot of traits to work with, and obviously coaching matters. But I'm clearly in the Trubisky camp. I think it's a great point when you're talking about Kansas City and Nagy coming from there. If you're going to compare Trubisky to a quarterback currently in the NFL, it is. To me, Trubisky is Alex Smith with a better arm. The athletic ability is probably right there on par. Mm-hmm. My biggest thing that I get excited about is Mitch is inexperienced, and we saw him trending upwards in his 12 starts this year. We saw him trending up with that lack of experience, and I really think that speaks volumes where this kid is headed. And you know, the Chicago Bears and Ryan Pace, guys, think about it like this: Ryan Pace got raked through the coals for moving up one spot to secure Trubisky. He gave up the third overall.
What did they say? Highway robbery. What was
right? He gave up the third overall pick.
Fleeced.
Got the second overall pick. He gave up 2/3 and was it a fourth? And we see what's going down tonight with Alex Smith and the Washington Redskins. We just got to go back to 2012. The Washington Redskins gave up 3 first-rounders for RG3. After that, they drafted Kirk Cousins in the same year in the 4th round. Then they've franchise tagged Kirk Cousins 2 times since then. And guess what? 2018, neither one of those fuckers are even on the roster. Think about, that's 3 first-rounders, 2 franchise tags, and you don't have any one of those quarterbacks left on the roster. And Ryan Pace is getting raked through the coals for 2 third-rounders and a 4th to secure his potential franchise quarterback. To me, I'm not straight up. It's quite easy for me. I love the upside of Josh Allen, but to me, Mitch Trubisky has just as much upside. He doesn't have the overall arm talent, but his overall package, when you're considering the athletic ability, the upside with his inexperience, his accuracy more than anything is the clincher. Yes. Danny was completely right there. A lot of guys, it's you either have it or you don't have it, and with Josh Allen being at Wyoming and not having a lot of talent around him, you can create bad habits, and we've seen it.
Yep.
Live and up front with a quarterback like Jay Cutler. Sometimes it doesn't matter what the coaching is. Sometimes you just can't get those bad habits out of the players. I mean, the upside is there with him, but he's way more of a gamble to me at this point than Mitch Trubisky is. So to me, it's fairly easy. Trubisky for me all the way.
Real quick question. With the breaking news of this trade, one answer, ready? Kirk Cousins or Alex Smith?
I got to be completely honest.
I want honesty. That's it.
I've never been a huge Kirk Cousins fan. I know he's puts up huge numbers. I don't know what it is. I can't sit here and say that I've broke down a ton of tape watching him, or even that I've watched a ton of Washington Redskins games. I think Alex Smith is an underrated quarterback that takes a lot of flack because he's not making, these big, 80-yard touchdowns and these huge plays. But you look at the fucking guy, and he's consistent every single year. And a lot of people aren't attracted to that, but he's winning. He's winning wherever he is. And he's probably going to end up doing the same thing in Washington. So I've never been a huge Kirk Cousins fan, and I can't even imagine what this guy's going to be signing for with these quarterback-hungry teams. I mean, he's going to be our $30 million a year quarterback for, in Denver, wherever he ends up. So to me, like, based on that alone, and based on the economics, the way that the NFL is now, if you're asking me if I can have Alex Smith with his current contract and his game, or Kirk Cousins with the contract that he's going to be coming along with it, I'm taking Alex Smith.
And for the record, forget the contract. Just you're taking Alex Smith over Kirk Cousins, correct?
Yeah, I think I would. I think he's really coming into. I think.
No, I got it.
Yeah.
You expressed it in my fashion. For
I think
12 minutes.
He's 12 minutes. What are you talking about? I've talked 12 minutes this whole show.
Give me one thing. Do you want Kirk Cousins? Shane went into his whole. You like Alex Smith? I'm
an Alex Smith fan. I've never been completely sold on
panties on your head, Alex Smith fan.
He's put up the numbers, but like I said, he's just what is Kirk Cousins done that Alex Smith hasn't done?
Aldo,
some stats.
Who are you selecting?
Well, and this gets back to what we were just talking about is the marriage between player and team. So if you look at a team like the Denver Broncos, who is it? Kirk Cousins or Alex Smith? In my opinion, it's Alex Smith. He mirrors more of what John Elway was as a quarterback, and I've always thought that Elway is seeking, his prodigal son to be the quarterback. Now, a lot of people are saying Cousins to Denver as opposed to Smith. But in my pea-brain of football knowledge, I would say that Alex Smith, to me, is better suited for the Denver Broncos. You go over to the Cleveland Browns, and I would say Kirk Cousins is better suited for that type team.
Who would General Manager Gandia select? That's all I want to know.
Matt Leinart.
So, hey,
seriously, if you had to start a franchise, those were your two choices.
And I've got the Bears, and I don't have Trubisky.
You've got the Bears. You don't got Trubisky.
Okay, I would pick Kirk Cousins.
Whoa.
Yeah, I would pick Kirk Cousins. I just feel like there's just a little bit more upside to him. Alex Smith, and a lot of it just has to do with Cousins' moxie that I like a little bit more, because I think they're both basically very similar in terms of results that they've delivered, and I know that Smith is a little bit of a runner and so forth. And some people would say you're stupid because Smith has a relationship with Matt Nagy, and he's your coach on this Chicago Bears team. But I still believe that Cousins, to me, is just a slightly better quarterback. So I'm going to go opposite of what Shane just said.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Adam Schefter is reporting that Kansas City is expected to receive a second-round pick from Washington for Alex Smith and possibly more. So that's. You got to think about that too. Kansas City's without a first rounder this year because they moved up for Patrick
Mahomes.
with
Do the Bears
Buffalo.
have a first-round pick, Shane?
No, I don't think so. No,
We
I think
gave it up, right?
Yeah, we gave it up. Yeah, I don't think we have
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry, but we do.
Do your research.
Yep.
Fleeced. They got fleeced, I tell you.
Hey, guys, this is the point of the show that we typically do the smartest man's tweets. But I announced last week that I had an idea to increase the Twitter followers for Shayne Marsaw. And Phil, what is the goal number that we have for Shane to get more follows? What's that magic number that you announced?
Wasn't it 2,172?
I thought it was a little bit more than that. I thought it was closer to the 2,500. So either way.
2,500.
Yeah.
Let's start again.
Okay.
2,492, Bob.
Play the Price is Right music. So here's the deal. He's at 15:01 right now as I look at it at 9:09 p.m. Central Standard Time on a Tuesday night as we're recording. So we need to get him another 1,000 before or right after the draft, I think is what our goal was. So
yes,
dick pics.
That's not going to help. Trust me. I've tried it. You may have a bigger dick than me, but it doesn't work.
It's just not pretty. It's not pretty. What is that thing?
So I figured that the best way to do this is to show the Twitter sphere, to show social media, to show everybody just how smart the smartest man is. And by showing them how smart, then people would gravitate to wherever he is on social media, and in this case being Twitter. So here, I called Shane up yesterday, and I said, Shane, I've got 3 questions for you. And I want you just to off the cuff. Do not do any research. I'm going to ask these 3 questions, and you answer them as quickly as possible, and then that will be proof to the people out there that you are the smartest man in the barroom and maybe one of the smartest men in the world when it comes to professional football. So this was the call, and listen in.
Where and when did Devin Hester score his last touchdown with the Chicago Bears?
Actually, his last touchdown with the Bears was an 81-yard punt return touchdown in the second quarter versus Washington on October 20th, 2013. He actually tied Hall of Famer Deion Sanders' NFL record of 19 total returns with a touchdown that game. After he scored the touchdown, Robbie Gould's extra point tied the game up at 17, but the Bears went on to lose that day 45-41 on running back Roy Halu's touchdown with 49 seconds to play.
In alphabetical order, name the 4 quarterbacks who started games for the Chicago Bears in the 2004 season.
Rex Grossman started the first 3 games that season. Jonathan Quinn started 3. Chad Hutchison had 5 starts. That actually tied him with Craig Krenzel, who had 5. But you asked me for them in alphabetical order, so that's Grossman, Grossman, Hutchison, Hutchison, Krenzel, Krenzel, followed by Quinn, Awful.
Other than Draft Dr. Phil, who else has listened to all 23 songs of Draft Dr. Phil's Christmas CD?
Kate Ottochian, Devin Ottochian, Stephanie Ottochian, Phil's 2 daughters, Sunny and Bella. Phil has a copy of the CDs and each one of the vehicles and all of the players in the Ottochian compound. So when they walk through the door, they automatically start playing. When they get in the car, it's just they're on repeat. So I know Tate and Devin have sent me a couple text messages asking me to come save them from their father singing. Haven't made it down there yet, so I do feel sorry for those guys having to listen to that 24/7.
Holy shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shayne Marsaw, the smartest man in the barroom. Well done, Shane.
Deliver the mail.
Little gift of my knowledge to the peasants out there, so whatever I can do.
And we have it on very good authority, Phil, that he was actually quite close to being correct on that final question. There are 2 or 3 other people who have listened to all 23 songs. One of them being Bears girl because you forced her to.
That's mean.
By the way, Phil,
Heidi, and a few thousand others, I believe, disagree.
That was the only one that Shane missed on that one. He was a little bit incorrect on that one, but that was fun putting that together. We'll return with our favorite tweets of the week and our worst tweets of the week next week. But we've got much more to talk about several other topics, including Cody Whitehair playing at center or guard. That's been a hot topic this week, and I think that's what we should tackle next before we talk about Draft Twitter, before we talk about Brian Urlacher. I want to see if I can bring in Trey Busy. He's kind of on hold right now. He's going to get back to me to see if he can make it and do his whiskey and steak segment, and then I'd like him to be a part of that steak and whiskey.
Steak and whiskey.
Steak and whiskey.
Hey,
this guy's always in reverse.
With me, it's always whiskey and steak. It's out of order being steak and whiskey. And then
Aldo could drive in reverse because Nikki can't. This fucking Bears Barroom road trip next year is going to be exciting.
Yeah, before we get on the road, Aldo, just rip the fucking CD players out of the vehicles, please.
Disabled all of them, yeah. And then we also want to talk about the most beautiful person in the world. The Bears girl tweeted out something about Rihanna being the most beautiful person in the world, and we want to get everybody's take on it. I think you already know how one person feels about that, and I'd love for Trey to be here for that segment. And then I have teased this on the Bears on Tap with Lauren Cox, a story regarding Brad Biggs that we must share. So we're going to sneak that. We're going to wedge it in somewhere in between the rest of the show. We're about at the hour mark now, so we've got 3-4 more hours to go. So we'll wedge it in there somewhere. But let's talk about Cody Whitehair playing.
Speaking of wedge, let's take the wedge block.
There you go. Well, good transition. Phil, I'm going to turn it over to you and talk a little bit about Cody Whitehair, and then Shane, just jump in.
When you look at this offense and you see Jordan Howard gashing teams, and you see the diamond, so to speak, Trubisky, Whitehair, that relationship with Howard, hitting it on those zone reads, that stretch play, the mid zone, all of that interior work that needs to be done is done by the center. I mean, you look at the Super Bowl teams and you look at their center play. You know, Shane was talking about wide receiver play and how these name players and they don't have big receiver. But you look at the two teams playing in the Super Bowl, look at their centers and watch how dominant they could be. And it really is important to how they get the run game, especially with Philadelphia. I mean, that football player is probably the top center in the NFL, and Kelsey, his brother to Kansas City Chief tight end Kelsey. So I look at Cody Whitehair, every time he's in there with Jordan Howard, you're seeing these big runs. You're seeing him get to the next level or call out the formation and call out the blocking scheme and make the check, help deliver the mic to the quarterback. There's so many things. And just his physicality at the point, he plays with a flat back and speed. I would never think that man that size at 6'5" could move interiorly like he does on contact. He controls. Now, has he lost a few battles here and there? Yeah. You know, do people recognize that he's switched around and that's really not smart? No, I don't think PFF recognizes that. I don't think fans recognize that enough. Fans of the show do. And I see a lot of people blogging, copying after we talk about this that do. But then ultimately I see stupidity and say, no, guard's the best thing. No. Kid was a guard. He was a left tackle in college, moved to guard. That was the plan. Then he ultimately went to center. And then you discovered a diamond in the rough. And when you do that, you really need to leave that there and in place. You can't, I can get any guard, veteran guard, to come in here and have some athleticism and fit the system. Good guards they're easy to come by. I'm sorry. It's the truth. The center, getting that nose, turning him around, and being able to maintain him so the running back can get that cutback and be the cutoff block king. I mean, this football player is something special. I don't think it's even a clue. Now, I talked to somebody who has some knowledge of the situation and saw, speaking of the devil, Brad Biggs' story of speculating. I think it's early right now, and I think they're guessing. That's what the person said. I trust them. I would hope that's the case because I'm telling you right now, come spring or come July, especially when it's camp, and I see this guy at guard, I'm really going to be upset or I got to put trust and faith in Harry to do the best high stand, he stand, however you guys say it, kick stand. He's got to get in there and he's going to assess the personnel. But I would be shocked if he came away and decided that the best thing for this team is to put him, because I just look at this football player's ability to dominate at the point of attack and be so athletic. I just don't see him, or the best move for him, Aldo, being moved to guard. It's absolutely at center. I'm so confident. I was as confident as I was about Adrian Amos being way better than anyone was giving him credit for. And you see where he is now. And that's what I see on tape. That kid deserves to be the center with Mitchell and build this offensive lineman inside out. That's how you should do it. And you got the piece right there, the fountain. There's no reason to move him to guard.
Well, I have to tell you that there's somebody that doesn't agree with you. His name is Mr. Magoo, and he wants to get his point in on this. So
he's finally making sense.
The Demon House Destroyers.
Yeah, I still wonder about that guy at night sometimes. when I hear like a noise in the house, and I think fucking Magoo in here.
I haven't seen him on Twitter much.
I have, actually.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, he sounds a little bit more medicated.
Medicated Pete?
Shane, you want to jump in here and share some thoughts on Whitehair? Do you agree or disagree with Phil, and how passionate about the whole Whitehair possibly moving do you feel?
I'm taking a break from Twitter.
Gotta get my shit straight. Talk to my girlfriend.
Shit straight.
No, I do agree with Phil, and this is, guys, we've talked about this over the last 2 years, talking about the Bears on our podcast, and it seems like every fucking year they take their best offensive linemen and they're moving them. I mean, we saw Kyle Long start at right guard, and then they move him out to right tackle, and then they bring him back into right guard, and then you go out and sign Josh Sitton, and he's left guard. Well, now you want to move him to right guard, but Kyle Long's not healthy, so you put him back over at left guard, and now you go get this rookie, and you're gonna put him at left guard, but Grisou tears his ACL on our turf, and now you put Whitehair at center, and he plays well. All right, well, now Grisou's back, so we're going to put him back at guard. And Grisou goes out and shits down his leg, so all right, Cody, you're going to go back to center. And then we wonder why we win fucking 5 games every year.
Exactly.
The fucking it's not like the offensive line. You want to talk about something that doesn't matter. Coaching doesn't matter, and fuck it, neither do offensive lines. Yeah, fuck it. It's all about the quarterback. They don't need offensive lines. Jesus Christ.
Own a Papa John's.
You see this kid in Whitehair, and yes, originally he was drafted to be a guard here, but they put him at center, and yes, the snaps have been an issue periodically, but it seems like he goes through a little bit of a phase, and then it's a technique issue. It's not a mental issue, as Phil pointed out and showed everybody on the breakdowns, the video breakdowns that he did. But let this kid in. There is a fear here now. You talk about Helfrich coming in as our offensive coordinator, and who's he have a history with? He has a history with Hronis Krasue, and I heard Phil bring up Jason Kelsey in Philadelphia. He's probably the most athletic center in our game. He honestly, Phil, he's probably playing at 285 pounds if he's lucky.
Yeah, he probably 285.
And I mentioned this to Phil. To me, Krasue is holding too much weight. It doesn't look natural on him whatsoever. What made him special in college was his athletic ability. That's what got him drafted in the 3rd round. He could get out and he could pull and he could get to the 2nd level and do things like a Jason Kelsey. So is Harry coming in here and having that in mind that, all right, maybe Sitton's going to be gone. We're going to move Whitehair over. And do you have to believe in your coaches? And they're obviously a lot more qualified than I am to make that decision. But it's more of the same in Chicago when it comes to those decisions. And what happens if they do put Krasue back at center and he goes out in the preseason and he sticks up the joint, and you've had Cody Whitehair at left guard all offseason? Then you're going to put him back over to center and you're right back to square one. My biggest thing that I want to see, all right, if they're going to make the move, all things considered, I want Cody Whitehair to be the center of the Chicago Bears. I want him to build that rapport with Mitch Trubisky, get comfortable with him, leave him there. But if they are going to make the move, I don't want this to drag out to training camp. I want that decision to be made for OTAs so the line can be settled. They can get as many reps. You see how cohesive the offensive line is. When they're Phil coached, you see how everything is done in unison. When they sit down, they're sitting down, how they line up on the field, everything, all that, those little intricate things matter when you're talking about offensive line. And there's so much disruption on the Bears line. We don't even know what's going to happen with Bobby Massey. Are they going to fucking move Kyle Long to right tackle and put Cody Whitehair at right guard and keep Josh Sitton? Nobody's talking about that. Who knows what's going on?
You don't know.
It's all going to matter what he stand, however you say it, what he feels is best for this unit. And Danny alluded to it today on Bears on Tap. You're going to see that not really a shift because they were going there. You saw that when they got rid of your guard there that went out to San Diego, Aldo, when you had your little meltdown. I forget his name now. Slauson, yeah.
I still
making that
Cole Slauson.
Making the shift to the more athletic guys that can get to the 2nd level that may not have the sheer, size just to overpower you, but they can make things happen with their mobility and their strength. And are they done?
We're talking about my boy Hernandez,
right,
from the Senior Bowl. They were talking about
there's. I'll be completely honest. Part of me thinks that the Bears are not done with Hronis Krasue. I wouldn't at all be surprised to see him transform his body, drop some weight. They have his college coach here, and we talk about
what I say to you, Shane.
Yeah.
If he can't do it with this fucking guy in his corner,
then
it's done.
Yep, exactly, and it is, and it's.
But you're right, though, in the fact that if he goes in there, trains, and gets his body to where he needs to be and is explosive, then there's no doubt. It's the same thing with Kevin White.
Right. Yeah, and no, you're absolutely right. And to me, Kevin White, these guys, and Hronis Krasue, they almost look a little bit too big, too bulky, and I always refer back to Nathan Basher when he was with the Bears. When he had his biggest years, he wasn't as big as he was. You know, he signed that big contract, and then he went out that one-off season and really, really bulked up. And I think he lost a lot of that athleticism that made him, you know, the quote-unquote interceptor, what made him special. And can Grisou recapture that? I mean, originally, when Ryan Pace drafted Cody Whitehair, he drafted him to be a guard. So obviously that's where Ryan Pace sees him. And I don't think that we can discount that. Me watching the way that I watch, I'd prefer them to leave Whitehair at center and go from there, fill in from that point. But this is the Bears, and there's so much mix and matching on that offensive line. I kind of expect it to continue this offseason, unfortunately.
Damn good topic, I'll tell you. And I just simply wish that they stick Whitehair at center. He's there for the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Keep Josh sitting for one more year. Draft your replacement guard for him. And you're going to need a guard because we don't know what Kyle Long's situation is going to be in 2018. And then hopefully Harry Heistan can get more improvement out of these offensive tackles so that we don't have to invest a high draft pick on a tackle, and we can instead invest in some developmental players. And like Phil said earlier in the show, it's defense in the first round, it's wide receivers in those middle rounds, and then it's those developmental players in those later rounds. That's how I feel about it. But
yeah, and let's not overlook free agency.
Yep.
Right.
On the offensive line either. You got the kid from Carolina, the guard. I'm blanking on his name.
Newell?
Yeah.
Noel?
Is it Norvell?
Norvell, thank you.
Yeah. You know, that's a guy. The Bears have a ton of money, and if you can fill a hole in free agency like that, that's going to really open up the draft for them. That's really how this puzzle works. You want to be able to go into the draft knowing that, all right, we want to kind of focus here, but if the draft falls a certain way, we don't have to back ourselves into a corner. And that's really what you want to do when you're talking about the NFL draft. And let's not forget, I know I'm a Quentin Nelson fan. Are they going to do it at 8? I would say right now it's probably not. And I know McGlinchey and all these guys, we have their college coach here. Nobody's going to have a better scouting report on these guys than our offensive line coach right now. You know, we see this quarterback movement now. That's going to come into play at number 8, guys. It really is. I think
it's going to be this. What, Shane? You think 4 or 5 quarterbacks taken?
4 or 5. It happens every year, Phil. Last year at this time, Aldo, you can attest to it. Pretty much everywhere. Last year at this time, people were talking about Deshaun Watson was a second-round draft pick. Pat Mahomes was a
third.
A third rounder in some cases, or a late 2. Mitch Trubisky was going to go in the 20s. And it doesn't matter. People are saying, Mitch Trubisky's not ready. The fucking quarterbacks every single year, they get overdrafted, and people want to forget about it. They're going to get pushed up. I'll tell you right now, it's Phil, it is. It's going to be 4 or 5 of these guys are going to go in the top 10.
Elway's not in love with Josh Allen? When when Aldo was talking about Elway,
they requested him on their roster.
That's right.
For a reason.
Kid could throw a dime across the field on a money off balance. That's John Elway there.
But this is all a poker game. Nobody has settled their boards, but these teams are invested enough at this point. We heard the Mitchell Trubisky story started in November of 2016 is really when it started, when Pace started to put his plan in place for him. And it's more of the same. John Elway kind of knows right now what direction he would prefer to go in. Has he zeroed on the specific player? He very well could be. You know, is it going to be Kirk Cousins? Is it going to be Josh Allen? Is it going to be Baker Mayfield? All of the, you know, it's this draft is going to be fascinating to watch. I think there's going to be a ton of movement up top, and I think the team that we all root for is going to be right in the thick of it. All these Bears fans right now, and we talked about this before, they should be praying that these quarterbacks ball out in the combine. They should want them all to blow up their interviews in their pro days. The more they get up in the top 10, the better that's going to be for the Bears.
I wanted to ask you guys, I'm sorry, before we go on.
Sure.
It's been on my mind. I was a little envious of John Elway. I want to know how you guys felt that he could have the balls to say, no, I want these two quarterbacks on my team because I want to assess them, where a John Fox-led Bears would have just gone by the wayside. Let's just, whatever it is, we don't have a plan. I don't give a rip, Shane would say.
Yeah,
I was like, at first, I was pissed off. Like, what the fuck? They could do that shit? And
what was last year's Senior Bowl known for? It was known for the bullshit practices by the Chicago Bears and the Cleveland Browns. That's what they were known for.
Yep.
And I mean, how pathetic is that?
That's fucking pathetic. That's what I'm saying. So, am I wrong to be envious of Denver for fucking being able to do that?
I think that
not at all.
I think that one of the things had to do with the fact that Houston has Deshaun Watson, so the Phil Savage of the head guy of the Senior Bowl was agreeable to allow Elway to make his choices to have those top quarterbacks on the North team. So that helped a little bit in that the Texans didn't say, hey, what the fuck, you know, we want one of those guys on our team. They were more interested in evaluating, you know, other position players. But your point is a good one there in that you need a leader on a team who's going to have the balls to make that request, not request it, but demand it, because that's probably what John Elway did.
Exactly.
And so we need that in Chicago. And I don't know if Ryan Pace is that person. Certainly Ted Phillips and George McCaskey are not. God bless those guys. They have talents better suited for, you know, watching TV or, playing video poker or whatever. But we need, you know, somebody in there who has that Elway type leadership who's going to demand something and get it.
Totally agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, fellas, we are going to move on now to the topic that is on Phil's burning list of things to talk about. So I'm going to go to you for a third straight time, Phil.
Holy
Fourth straight time,
Shane.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, jackpot.
I feel so left out. Yeah.
Although
This is Hollywood Squares.
I got to tell you, I was about ready to play that Smartest Man in the Barroom theme song while you were on your rant there, Shane, because that was a good one.
Yeah.
But we want to talk about draft Twitter. This was a topic that Phil sent to me and said, let's talk about draft Twitter because I got some thoughts I want to share. And I have no idea what you're going to talk about, but the topic intrigues me totally because I got a feeling you're going to go off on somebody here. So what do you got to say, Phil?
No, it's just funny to me, and Shane has amped me up many a year, and just sending me tweets from people. So this show is built upon past history of me and him, and just the hot takes and the copy paste and then the manipulation of flip-flopping. Matt Miller's been documented here by Shane numerous times, but then you have that, so I call that the top layer of these national guys and these guys that have blue checks that have done it. And they continue to do it, and then they have all these defenders, and then you have that second tier, these newbies coming up. This isn't hate, it's just what I see. You know, having original thought to me is the most important thing. You can not like me, you can love me, you could just tolerate me, whatever it is, but the one thing you can't deny is that I'm going to tell you my thought. I'm not regurgitating somebody else's thought, and when it does happen like that, that's fine and dandy. And I appreciate the people that recognize, hey, Shane or Aldo or Phil said this back then, and point that stuff out. And that's important because it's coming from an original place. And when I look at draft Twitter and I see people fucking licking ass of people that are fraudulent, it's just disappointing on so many levels. That's why I felt like it was something that was irking me. Here we go. I don't know if I'm looking forward to this because it's so redundantly retarded. Like, someone could say something on a Monday, Aldo, and then on a Friday it's changed just a slight bit with an in and out, and then by Sunday the whole opinion has come to somebody else who said something, and then you see it constantly retweeted on your timeline, and you're getting fucking confused because this guy fucking loved this player on Monday. Wait a second, he loved that player. So I don't know if it's one of those Aaron Lemming grand plans that you could say it so many different times and then bound to get it right, so you could screenshot the right one, delete all the wrong ones, and then say you're the fucking genius. But to me, it's not about right or wrong. It's about your person. And I really believe there is people. When I first started Twitter Confession, I fucking saw so many people that don't know dick about football. And it was just irritating. And that's how I started. I didn't ask anybody to follow me. I didn't even know what it was until Shane told me to do it. So I went on there, boom, started doing it, and seeing these. That was the whole origination of it. Shane was getting information. Oh, Schefter's tweeting. Like, what the fuck is tweeting? I didn't know what. Hey, we message boards and all this thoughts and long tirades were in words. So Twitter saved my life because I could get my idea out in 140 character, and
that had to be a challenge like for you, man. That had to be such a challenge.
No, it created Draft Dr. Phil because it made me have to think creatively to say things, and it really was fun. But there was so many people that didn't know, and as you gain further, you see people don't know or don't watch the tape because you don't realize what they're seeing. But then there's this other piece, and when people that do know see it different than you, and you gotta kind of gather your own information and go look at it if you respect someone's football acumen. So when I see people just taking from others and saying this on one day and then saying another thing, and then the Bears need a receiver, Ridley's it, now Ridley's not it, but you were the like, I just don't do that, Aldo. So looking at draft Twitter, to me, as much as I love Twitter and as much as I love the show, I was on like the fucking edge the other day. I felt like I was gonna dive off a fucking building because of the hot takes. And you know, this kid Josh Allen has done nothing but positive things. You look at his from halftime to coming back after the half and playing really well, and you see the tone. And Shane, you can be a witness to this. The tone was, look at how shitty he is in the game. Look at how shitty he is. He can't do it. So then he comes in the second half, Aldo, balls out, and then the same people are saying, well, only in this game there's only certain coverages. So you see what I'm saying? Like, you can't win. You have to have no bias. I go into things, I look at the film, and I do my homework. So I stand and put my name and stamp. I always say that. Put your stamp on it then. Who's the guy that you stamp? I always challenge everybody. I don't give a fuck. I'm a competitive dude to the core. I will compete. I'll tell you the truth. I'll laugh at my own self when Shane and all you guys fucking drag me from a fucking car about my music and everything else. But I'm putting my name on it.
I'd rather run you over, honestly. I wouldn't drag you.
Exactly. Exactly. I can laugh at all of it and take it because I believe I've signed myself to this. And when I make a mistake, everyone's gonna point my mistakes out. They're not going to point out everybody else's. So I've tried to be prepared and love this show and do the things I do. And I really respect the guys on this show's opinion. And even if Aldo loved Matt Leinart, I still am going to I'm going to ask him his opinion and draft Twitter to me, the copy paste. Shane, I know you want to dig in.
I think what bothers me the most, and I think maybe this is kind of what I'll give you the condensed version of I think what Phil is speaking to. I think you see, like James Washington, who we talked about.
Oh yeah,
earlier.
Exactly.
You'll see this kid go through a college season. He's making plays every game. He's, he's got the
perfect
traits.
Example, though.
And
you
then
are smart.
They'll say, "Oh, well, yeah. Well, he didn't do it at the Senior Bowl. He didn't. He had one catch in the game at the Senior Bowl." Or Jarvis Landry is another guy. Well, he's not a good wide receiver because he ran a 4.7 at the combine. Well, he's got over 400 receptions in his first 4 years, and we got the NFL Combine coming up, and you're going to see this guy from Saginaw Valley State or bumfuck you that runs a 4.29 that had 4 interceptions this year. Nobody knows who he is. He's going to put up that 4.29. And draft Twitter's going to be, I want that motherfucker. He's exactly what we need. He's got that speed, and people get so caught up in these combine numbers or the flash plays at the Senior Bowl. The Bears drafted an MVP at the Senior Bowl one year, a defensive end. He was actually the defensive MVP. His name was Michael Haynes. How the fuck did that work out for us? The Senior Bowl is important. It's more so the
Snakes, Plains, and Michael Haynes.
Yeah, right. Senior Bowl is important. Aldo was there, and Aldo, you can attest to this. 99% of the shit that is important, we aren't seeing on TV.
Oh yeah,
It's the shit in the hotel. It's as simple as sitting down and just, watching these guys, and that is the thing about the NFL draft Twitter that I think Phil is alluding to. It just, you can't get caught up in the big play in the Senior Bowl game. Does it hurt the guy? No. Is it the be all end all? No. The most important thing is the tape from his college season. We don't have access to the behind the scenes stuff. The
interviews.
The interviews, stuff like that. That stuff all matters. But I'm telling you right now, and we should track this. Maybe we'll put Nicky on it, and he'll have it for us by this summer. But just watch the 40 times. Whoever's the top 40 guy, you're going to see that guy trending on Twitter. We got to draft this guy in the second round because he ran a 4.29. And it doesn't. I mean, Mark Hatley back, I think, in 1998, around that year, maybe 97, drafted a guy named John Capel. He was a track star at the University of Florida, played a little bit of football.
What was the kid from Iris Curry from Clemson?
Yeah, Iris Curry from Clemson.
Iris Curry.
Yeah, that was Jerry Angelo. Jerry Angelo drafted him. And he drafting these guys late that have those big eye-popping trait numbers like that. Yeah, you want to take a gamble on them, but you're going to see these guys get pushed up because they run that eye-popping 40 or the most important thing is you got to go back to old reliable, see what you see on tape in game situations. That's what we have access to. That's what you should use.
Let me give you a quick example of a guy like Alex Kappa. This kid was a left tackle at Humboldt University, small school in Northern California. I looked at it. I interviewed him, and then I went back and looked at his tape. Oh my gosh, this dude! Talk about an offensive lineman who finishes blocks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was taking guys to the ground, and then when they're on the ground, he's giving them the business, old-fashioned way, Chicago Bears style. Fast forward to the game, and he is being beaten by these speed rushers, and it's like it was to me.
Yep.
To me, it was like you you take this girl out and she's gorgeous and so forth. You take her back to the room and all of a sudden she takes off her clothes. And it's like, oh my God, this is not what I was thinking. And so these small school players, the Senior Bowl does reveal something because they're playing against competition that they have never faced before. So if they can hold their own in practice and then in the game, then that's telling. But for everybody else that has played against solid competition throughout their college career, it's the game tape. It's game to game. You assess the competitor that guy was up against and see how he did, the guy that you're scouting, see how he did down in and down out. And you study all the particulars on that. That's what it gets down to. If you're gonna go off of what happened at the Senior Bowl on Saturday, then anybody who knows scouting or has studied scouting or just knows a little bit about scouting will just disagree with you. So I'm totally with you there.
Then they got the mocks, Aldo, quickly. We got mocked out. We haven't even had free agency.
That's now, masturbation. Shane. That's mental masturbation. Yeah. You know. But Phil, give me a name. Who is the worst culprit at this? Because I know that we don't want to pick on people and so forth. But I've got a cute little song here that we can play for somebody. So give me a name, and then I'll play the song in tribute to.
Oh my God.
I think of the name Phil. Let me give you. It rhymes with Schmiller.
Exactly.
Okay.
He really is awful.
Yeah, he is.
It's sad. And I've spoken to people real quick before you hit the song play.
Okay.
I've spoken to people around the league in different area, West Coast, and I'm not talking about Phil yet. I haven't gotten Phil's opinion yet. But and some people that I respect as football people, and they get frustrated by Matt Miller because of the comments that he's made about his executive, and we've documented this, but for the new listener, we keep it real here. I've never met Matt Miller. I know the story of how he got the job. I know the whole thing, and we could talk about that at some point, but the fact of the matter is it's frustrating because you're putting out rankings of offensive linemen, and a week before the draft, you're changing them because a coach talked to you, and you admitted this on Twitter, and you don't really know how to assess offensive. Why do you have that job, and why
I'm just here to do mock drafts. I'm just here to do mock drafts.
So it's very frustrating for the guy that does a lot of work. Now, his only job is the draft and to have it prepared. So he would Bleacher Report, which went from a nothing company to something dynamic now. You could say, like them or not, they are what they are. They're paying people a lot of money. They have access to a lot of film. So say as Shane Washington from Oklahoma State, here's the guy that's popping out. You see him. He could pull up every Washington game and be prepared and have his opinion and get access to files and stuff that would take us a little bit extra work to be able to get. And if that wasn't enough, we don't have that as our regular job. I work for a living too. Then I do this on the side. So if my only job was that, I damn will sure tell you that I would be prepared. My fucking rankings wouldn't come out until everything was assessed, and I would keep it appropriate to that manner. And it just doesn't happen. And we've documented this over and over, and Shane has documented it in the tweets. But yeah, Matt Miller.
Were you born an asshole, or did you work it your whole life? Either way, it worked out fine, 'cause you're an asshole.
Congratulations, Matt Miller. You're an asshole. Tonight, yesterday, tomorrow, for the rest of your existence, you're an asshole.
Phil finally did a song that I like.
I told you, he's a country music fan. I had to do it for you.
That's hilarious. That is, of course, Red Peters. If you're a Howard Stern fan, you've heard Red Peters on the Stern Show, and he was nice enough to loan us that piece of music. All right, fellas. Oh, my gosh. We're approaching the 2-hour mark. I got to tell you one thing about Trey, first of all. This is important breaking news.
Breaking news.
Yeah. Trey just sent me something saying that he's having a huge argument with my girl right now. So that means he probably can't. But here's the cool thing is that we've got a little audio of it going on.
Nothing. I'm not going to embarrass you. I'm not about that. If you ain't LL Cool J, put down your damn thing. And your legs is ass shit.
LL Cool J.
Or LL Cool J's ass shit.
I don't know what's going on here, but...
What is going on here?
Not as intense as I was hoping it would be. It's not like the arguments my mom and dad had when it was shit flying.
LL Cool J.
It seemed to be arguing about LL Cool J. Anyways,
who's the best rapper? Turned actor.
Alec, Trey Busy. That obviously was not Alec and Trey Busy. It was my attempt at humor, which failed miserably. But I don't think Alex is going to join us, and I hope that he's okay and that he can join us in the near future. All right, so let's get on to our next topic of discussion. Hey, Phil, you sent me this list, and you've got something here called Mock These Nuts. Was that associated with the draft Twitter thing? Or what the fuck is this?
Yeah, associated to the draft.
Oh, okay, all right.
How about mocking in fucking free agency week 2? That's when a mock should come out.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's when you're mocking. You know, they're fucking doing mocks right after the fucking draft occurred to show whose Twitter fucking glasses are bigger. I don't know. It's so ridiculous. It's like those strength of schedules in May.
Right.
And all this Peter King shit that he developed. You know, people think it's brilliant. Football-wise, it's just it's creating a fantasy football mindset in an avenue that clearly has a giant audience. The off-season is so much fun. I'm not trying to take away. You want to do a mock draft at the end of the football season, and that's it. You realize it's just for fun. You do one. They're doing them every week, changing them, and it's just mock these nuts.
Well, and I got to tell you, if you want to do a mock draft, do it this way because this would really pique my interest. With the 8th pick of the first round, the Chicago Bears are up. Give me 3 possibilities, not just one guy, but give me 3 possibilities in the event that we sign a Jarvis Landry in free agent, so we don't need a wide receiver in the first round. Or in the event that we get a pass rusher in the first round, then give me who it would be. Give me possibilities. Give me scouting reports on guys who are suited for the Bears offense and for the Bears defense. Don't be giving me these far-fetched hypotheticals weeks before free agency. That's ridiculous. That's a waste of time. I'm not going to read that. And calm down. And you guys who are reading that are just simply wasting your time. You're wasting your time.
Aldo, what happens? I wanted to say this because I forgot before, Shane, when I almost cut you off. So I'm sorry. Listen, to Shane's point from a while back to this point, it fits perfectly. If the Bears open up free agency, they signed Ziggy Ansah, they signed the guard from Carolina, Norwell, and they signed Roderick Wilson, the kid Wilson from the Chiefs. That's how they open up free agency. They get those 3 players. What does that do to your draft? What does it say?
Yeah, trade down.
You follow what I'm saying? So your whole draft philosophy comes different. They got the receiver, they got a pass rusher, and they got an offensive guard. They've addressed the 3 players that you're kind of mocking there now. And that's why I say your mock these balls because it doesn't matter right now.
He's nuts.
Go ahead, Shane.
No, I was just going to say, El Jefe just texted me his mock draft, the 3 possibilities for the Bears. And it's Quentin Nelson from Notre Dame, Mike McGlinchey from Notre Dame, and Equinemius St. Brown from Notre Dame.
Yep.
So, thank you, Jefe.
That's hilarious. And by the way,
cheer for old Notre Dame.
Our buddy,
Check out the echoes calling.
Greg Gabriel is not a fan of Equinemius St. Brown.
Smart man. Neither am I.
All right, are we ready for this?
He's big, Shane. He's tall.
Lauren Cox story, and then we finish up with the beautiful person.
I wanted.
What do you want to do, brother?
I got.
We can talk.
One other thing.
Oh.
Brian Urlacher. Gotta get into this.
Want to do this next?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so hold on. I got.
Shane could go first. Shane, because you kept me going. Yeah.
All right.
If he wants.
Hold on a second, because there's got to be, and I'm sorry that I didn't prepare for this segment, but there's got to be a way of introducing Ray Lewis to the segment that would make sense, and so I'm trying to think.
Don't kill me! Don't kill me!
I thought that was a drop.
Yeah, I thought so too.
That was good.
All right, that's how we introduce Ray. He's coming out of a nightclub.
Ray, y'all.
Oh, man. Sometimes I get lucky. I get on YouTube and I find the sound effect and it works perfectly. And sometimes it's a fucking miserable success.
So prepared.
We're winging this motherfucker. All right, so Shane, go ahead. Let's talk about Brian Urlacher. Is he better than Ray Lewis? Because right now the consensus is that Urlacher is not going to get into the Hall of Fame this season. That's going to be Ray Lewis first, and that Urlacher will probably get in next season.
I don't even think it matters if he's better or had a better career. To me, they're both, I mean, yes, the off-the-field shit with Ray Lewis is obviously an issue, but it's, I guess, technically not supposed to factor in.
That's correct.
To these guys going in. So, to me, they both deserve to be first ballot. Well, why? Where's this outcry? Well, we can't put two inside line or two middle linebackers in at the same time. Why? That's the shit that irritates me, more than anything. I mean, anybody that I see these debates on Twitter, and it'll be from a Detroit Lions fan or a Minnesota Vikings fan. Ray Lewis is fucking, Urlacher can't hold his jock. Well, that's yeah, exactly. You're showing your bias because you hate the Bears, and yes, I understand that. That part of it is what it is. But who can sit there with a straight face and say that Brian Urlacher didn't transform the middle linebacker position, just as much as Ray Lewis? Ray Lewis had a longer career, and he really, I think he came in 96. He won his first Super Bowl in 2000, and then it was taped up with duct tape and whatever else when he finished his career, when they won the Super Bowl against San Francisco. And Urlacher never got that chance to walk off the field a champion, just playing in one Super Bowl. But to me, it doesn't come down to who is better, and to me, it doesn't really matter. They're both on the ballot. To me, they should both be in and get voted in as first ballot guys. Like you said, Aldo, the consensus seems to be that Urlacher is going to miss out and have to wait a little bit before he gets in. But this is the thing that I hate about the Hall of Fame. There's so many politics to it, and the media. I mean, you can have a guy that is an asshole in the media, and the player doesn't care for him, and the player is very short. And these are the guys that you're relying on to vote you in to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, you know, what you're really working for. Just like Brian Urlacher put it perfectly in his interview with Lance Briggs. He said, do I feel like I'm a Hall of Famer? Yeah, I absolutely do. I've put up the numbers that should warrant me to be in there. But you know what? If I don't get in, I don't get in. There's nothing that I can do right now that are going to change my numbers. And that's really the proper outlook for it. But hell yes, he deserves to be in. You know, I hate the Philadelphia Eagles, but one of my favorite players all time, non-Bears, was Brian Dawkins of the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, it's a guy like that. Just because I hate the Eagles doesn't mean that I can't appreciate a fantastic player. And that should be no different with Brian Urlacher. I mean, you look at where he came in from New Mexico, and as a rover, you know, a safety, and he's this 6'4", 260-pound guy that's running, you know, 4.4 and picking off passes 35 yards and 40 yards downfield as a middle linebacker, and not just going down with it, taking them back to the house. I mean, we saw him in that one game in Atlanta down in the Georgia Dome run down Michael Vick and scoop the ball and run the ball 85 yards for a touchdown. It's just not something that you saw from a guy that size. He was almost subhuman with a lot of the stuff that he did, and he 100% deserves to be in. I'm sick of the bullshit stipulations and, we can't put two middle linebackers in there. Well, yeah, you can put a bunch of shitty media guys in a room to decide it together that half of them never even fucking played. Well, what's wrong with putting two fantastic middle linebackers in the same class? It's just, to me, it doesn't make any sense. They both deserve to go in, and they should this Saturday. We'll see what happens with number 54. I'm going to be there, you know, cheering with everybody else for him to get that nod. I hope he does, but my gut tells me that he's going to be on the outside looking in, and I do have an issue with that.
Shane hit it out of the park. Really stole a lot of my thunder and passion. When I look at these two and comparing them, and they both bring something different to the Thanksgiving dinner. Now, in some households, you know, yams are eaten. In some houses, sweet potatoes. Some are taking pumpkin pie. Some are sweet potato pie. Depending on your taste, this is where it comes down to. Because if anybody's telling me that Ray Lewis is a better linebacker than him, they're fucking dumb. And on tape, I'll tell you why. Because he revolutionized, Brian Urlacher did, the inside linebacker position in the passing era. Being able to get down the middle of that seam and cover those big tight ends and frustrate defenses and quarterbacks to no end. You ask Aaron Rodgers who he'd rather not face, Urlacher or Lewis. He's going to choose. I would choose Ray Lewis every fucking time. Guarantee you. Because his effect on the game happened inside. Wasn't the greatest coverage linebacker. He was very good. Wasn't the greatest. Brian Urlacher was the greatest. The greatest coverage inside backer. He also brought physicality. We're not talking about some pussy here. We're not talking about a guy that was undrafted, made it, some story there. We're talking about a first-round gamble on a kid, as Shane said, who was a safety in college that nobody thought shit of. His story is one of perseverance and overcoming any kind of racial stereotype or bias to being the player he was. And what I saw is a guy, and these were what separates Hall of Famers. A guy that every week offensive coordinators stay up late at night because this player has to be schemed to break him from beating you. And Urlacher, let's face it, he was a face of a franchise, was the number one selling jersey for how many years? The popularity is there. If some schmuck media fuck is going to say, no, we got to limit to two. Well, there's two inside backers in the 3-4 scheme. that's played in the majority of the NFL right now. If you need a fucking doorway cracked, that's it for it. So barflies could start tweeting at these fucking guys that vote, because there's no fucking way this guy isn't a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is completely the pedigree of what you're looking for inside. And that's why I look at this draft class, Aldo, and I wanted to say it before. I'm going to say it now. Shane brought up Smith from Georgia. What's his name? From Virginia Tech. Shane, why am I drawing a blank on him? Fuck. Davenport.
Tremaine Edmonds.
Edmonds, thank you. You got Edmonds in there. You have these big-time athletes. And there's another one in there, the kid that we talked about from South Carolina State. I don't remember a class of linebackers so instinctive, so big, so thorough. I call that kid the Black Urlacher. That's revolutionizing the position. Now you're looking to try to find guys like that, 6'5", 260 pounds the kid is, or 250 pounds, that could play inside or outside. That's what Urlacher was. He's ahead of the game. And granted, again, coaching in Chicago was there. I would have used that guy on fucking blitzes like you wouldn't believe. He wasn't. But what
only
he
year,
did do,
year one. They did it as a rookie. I think he had 8.5 sacks, and then
think about. I just think about the coaching and the things, and I get so frustrated. But exactly, Shane, you think about 8 sacks. Think about him growing as a veteran and having that savvy of knowing, oh, they're going to try to block me with this fullback who's going to fucking lowball me. I'm going to leap right over him. There's another sack. Guy was so athletic and talented. I saw him cover Reggie Bush live. I saw him cover Tiki Barber live. Tiki Barber on a fucking fade route would beat half the NFL. Then I see him go out and he's covering wide receivers. Ray Lewis couldn't do that, so that has to weigh into the philosophy of the scale. And what he did do is phenomenal. And that's not... I'm with Shane 100%. I think my favorite football player on another football team, aside from Barry Sanders, was John Randall.
Yeah.
Fucking hated that motherfucker because he was so fucking good. So good. Like, it's unbelievable how good he was. Reggie White, fucking hated him. Brett Favre, I fucking hated him. Anybody question me about Brett Favre? A first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't give a fuck about the interception. I knew what he brought to every game. There was no doubt you're in the game. Even if you're down 30, there's a shot with that guy. You always felt it. That is a Hall of Famer. Urlacher took over that Arizona Cardinals game. One of the greatest games I've ever seen in my life was Brian Urlacher just play after play after play. He made to 4. I think Rex Grossman threw 4 picks that night to still win the game and will a win by him. I mean, the guy has every bit of the story minus the fucking murder. Get him in the hall. Stop with the fucking bullshit. Barflies, unite on this. Make the new hashtag, Aldo. Put Urlacher in whatever it's going to fucking be. You know those. You've done these things tremendous. But get him in the hall. I'll be more disappointed if he doesn't get in the hall than if they're playing Cody Whitehair at fucking guard.
Yeah, the thing is that you don't make it the first year. All of a sudden, you can get kind of lost in the shuffle. I'm not sure what next year's nominee class will look like, but it can sometimes delay the inevitable much longer than it needs to be. And so I'm with you. I'll think of a hashtag and we'll get the barflies behind it. I'm not sure I'm as passionate about it as our Firefox campaign, but I'm definitely with you. The guy, Urlacher, for me, will always be the guy that kind of revolutionized that middle linebacker position because he was a middle safety. And so, and when the league was turning into a passing league, all of a sudden, he transformed what the middle linebacker position was for the Chicago Bears, and for all of football, he could play that position like a middle safety, and yet come in and do a good job sideline to sideline against the run. Not always as good against the run when he was going up against big backs like Jerome Bettis. That was his one Achilles heel, run right at him. But other than that, the guy was an A+ player and an A+ Chicago personality too, and good and just great for the NFL. So I'm totally with you there. All right. If you've got that off your chest, let us move to the next segment of the show. And I want to close with this whole most beautiful person, because I think that's a good way to close the show. So let me bring in Lauren Cox here, who I had him on Bears on Tap when we were down in Mobile, Alabama. And Lauren, as always, just does a really good job of breaking down players, and he sees things with a journalistic scout's point of view. He's almost like a younger Adam Hogue. He just has that same sensibility. So I really enjoyed sitting down and talking to him for 90 minutes. He's learned under the best. Draft Dr. Phil maybe being one of those guys. And so he knows his stuff. And so he shared a story with me that I want to share with all of you. And I think it's a really interesting story. I think Shane may know this story. I'm not sure. Do you know this story, Shane?
I think I know very little at this point.
Okay. Well, at the end of this segment, which I put together, I edited it down because it was about a 4-minute segment, but I wanted to cut it down, and I may have added some sound effects to it.
I'm knowing this story's about me, but I don't know what it's about. So go ahead.
It has a little bit to do with you. So let me play it now, and then we can talk about it.
It's Tuesday night at the Senior Bowl. We're going out to the bars because that's what you do every night when we're down here in Mobile. Me and my friend Owen Reese and my friend Andy Singleton, we're walking to Veets from our car. And so Veets is the place where all the movers and shakers tend to go to. That you get GMs there like John Schneider from the Seahawks, and a lot of media guys like Ian Rappaport, and Adam Schefter's been there before, and like Alex Flanagan from NFL Network, and then coaches and scouts and other media guys, including Brad Biggs. So me, Owen, and Andy are walking up to Veets, and Brad Biggs sits outside of Veets every night down here with his box of cigars and his Miller Lights, and sits outside by himself and smokes and drinks, and people that know him will come up and talk to him, and other strangers will smoke next to him and kind of shoot the shit. And my friend Andy recognizes Biggs from a distance. As we were walking by Brad Biggs, Andy goes up to him and starts talking to him. He just goes to shake his head, like, "Hey Brad, what's up?" And Brad goes, "You think you can talk shit about me on Twitter and then just come up to me and try and be my friend?" Me and Owen are in front of Andy, and Andy's... And like I look at Owen, looks at me, he's like, just go inside. So me and Owen go inside. We leave Andy out there to talk to Brad Biggs. So we're like, we get our drinks and we're like looking through the window, drinking, sipping, while we see Andy stand up and Brad Biggs sit down, and they're like exchanging things back and forth. And then like eventually they shake hands and then dap up, and Andy comes inside, and we're like, what was that all about? Andy's like. He thought I talked shit about him on Twitter. Like, what do you mean? Have you ever tweeted him for? He's like, no. He's like, aren't you that guy Phil? And this light bulb just with my face just like completely. I was like, oh my god! I was like, I know who he thinks you are. And Andy looks a little bit like Phil. They're both a little bit shorter, but Andy's got a lot more hair, and then they both have East Coast accents. And so eventually we go back outside, and I'm like, Brad, I know who you're talking about. I've met Phil before, and I was like, what do you know about Phil? He's like, that guy always tweets shit about me on Twitter. I thought that was him trying to come up to me and be all friendly. He's like, I saw him at Pat's camp. He started talking to me, and I was just like, I don't like that guy. I know he was talking shit about me, and I was like, do you know his name is Phil Ottochian? He's like, I don't know. I just know it's Phil something on Twitter, and I was dying. It was just phenomenal. Completely made my whole week on a second day here. Phil, Brad Biggs reads your tweets. I'm sure he reads the tweets. So Phil, if you see Brad Biggs anywhere, I wouldn't try being friendly with him. That's the moral of the story.
Just goes to show you they're stealing my shit.
Yeah, they're listening in and they're reading.
Let me tell
your
you
stuff.
this. Let me tell you the story now. On the other end at Pat's camp.
Okay.
So, I'm there at Pat's camp covering for Bears Wire. At the time, I had stepped away from Bears Barroom, and I was actually still working with Bears Barroom on the podcast.
Right,
I'm keeping it 100.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing fucking writing every day. You know that's not my style, but I'm doing it. And I love Lauren, too, editing my stuff, working together. I go cover Pat's camp versus the Bears. We're just going to get it out, right, Shane? Just tell the truth. Let's tell the story.
Brad Bigg's panties ended up on Phil's head at the end.
No, so I'm there covering this camp. I'm doing what I do. I fucking know everybody. I'm way into this I know people by face. Aldo was talking about that at the Senior Bowl. I know all those players. That's what I prepared. So I'm seeing the tight end, the former tight end, Christian Foria. He's doing the play-by-play with the Pat. We're talking about the Pats and the Bears. He's talking to me about what he saw and how impressed he was with Cam Meredith. I'm talking over to Zaidman, and to Zaidman's credit, off the record at that time, he's like, Phil, this team is going to be awful. They're going to win maybe 1 or 2 games. They ended up winning 3 games. He was right on the money with that, to his credit. Now he's leaving. I thought he was one of the best covers of the Bears out there. Knew his stuff. Kind of was beaten up all the time like myself. Yeah, jokes busted on him from the score, what have you. So I'm over there. Now you watch practice. You're far away in a fucking tent. I'm standing next to earring hoops, as Shane calls them. And I'm watching and I'm watching practice. And I'm talking in my phone, taking notes. When it's all said and done, there was a fight. George McCaskey broke out. I sent the footage to Aldo. There was so much going on. And I'm with all these media guys. Hogue, Adam John's little bitch ass. I saw them all. You can bleep that out if you want. Because I know Hodge is boys with him. Hogue is boys with him. So I saw them all. We go down onto the field. I've been out in the hot sun. It was about, no joke, 100 degrees that day. With the humidity, it was like torturous. We're out in the sun. I was wearing a Bears hat. I was wearing a blue shirt, Bears hat, credentials, went out there. We get up to coach. You talk to the coach first, then they brought over 2 players. One of them happened to be Cutler. I asked the coach the question. I'm fine, dandy. At the end, I asked Cutler a question. All of a sudden, I see Brad Biggs going over to the media guy after I asked the question, questioning who is that guy? Because obviously he's giving you his cards now. He knows who the fuck I am because I talk shit about him. And I look back, I am kind of embarrassed at what I was saying. Back then, in 2014 was the last time I talked shit about this guy on Twitter. He blocked me or whatever because I called him out on Wilson and Ford. He said weren't going to make the football team. And I remember me and Shane exchanging texts. Shane telling me Brad Biggs said this just now on the score. And I'm like, what? It was close to cut down. I'm like, what fucking tape is he fucking watching? And he's covering the Bears. And my energy, you know me well enough. I don't have a fucking filter. Like, what is he talking about? What are you talking about? It's ridiculous. Get into a little bit. Blocked me after that. Sure enough, they both made the team. And that's how it works. So forward to this day, he's telling some media guy to go question me because I was wearing a Bears hat and I shouldn't be wearing a Bears hat. Nobody told me that shit leading into it, to my defense. There was no Phil, a member of the media 101. In fact, Aldo admitted he went to media It was wearing a Bears shirt, and they told him, you got to change your shirt. So no one did that to me. They saw me all day, the media member, all of them. I was there talking to Tom Thayer. I talked to Coach Belichick. I was there. Everyone knew. I could feel like I wasn't in the clique, Aldo. But to see this fucking dude go over there and ask the media guy to question who I was because of my hat, that ultimately caused this big drama and made me have to leave Bears Wire because of it.
You're fired.
That's the kind of guy this fucker is. So I'm going to keep it 100. That's really what it was. I bumped into Brad Biggs early that morning. There's nowhere to go with Brad Biggs in a hallway. It's just you and him. So what? I am not an asshole. I'm just wearing my heart on the sleeve guy. I'll let bygones be bygones. He comes up to me walking straight. He's going to a bathroom that I was just coming out of. You're in a hallway now. He gives the old, hey, what's up, head nod. Wearing a fucking dirty stained purple fucking polo shirt and fucking jeans and those fucking penny loafers. I can see it to this day with his media pass. I know who he is. I say, how you doing, Brad? To response to that. So, true story now. This is all fucking airing out because he's talking shit. He passes by and he doesn't say anything after the head nod. Like, I was like, hey, how you doing, Brad? Fucking, no joke, Mike Reese of ESPN Boston is standing, and he's a fucking Nicky size. He's shorter than me. He's standing 2 feet from me. I turn around to Brad Biggs, and I go, well, fuck you then, Brad Biggs. You think your shit don't stink? Mike Reese is standing right there, and he goes, opens his eyes wide. He's got glasses. He's like, oh, did you just tell him to go fuck himself? I go, basically. He's like, no. He goes, I saw the whole thing. He deserved that. That's how we left it. That was in the morning time. That's the true fucking story. Brad could say whatever he wants.
Phil tells the guy to fuck off. And he said, hey, did you just tell him to fuck off? Well, basically.
Exactly. What am I going to say? He's heard the whole thing. It was like he was quizzing me like if I was going to be honest. I was like, well, basically, yeah. Well, Tom Thayer heard it too. He was in the fucking corner underneath the fucking television. I could see the whole thing. And then Brad Biggs comes back like it didn't happen. I'm talking with, and my wife was there. She came into the media thing because she was with me, and we're talking to Tom Thayer, and I'm talking about the website and things that they should do, and he's like, oh my God, I wish they gave us more autonomy to do what other sites do. They won't even let me break down some of these plays. I have to use pictures and arrows and point. They won't let it moving. They won't let motion picture. This is the Bears he's talking about, not the NFL.
Right.
He's talking about the Bears. And you've seen what the Eagles, we talked about it. So here's Tom knowing that he could do more and give more to the fucking fans. And we're talking about Brad comes back after I just told him to go, all right, whatever, go fuck yourself then. You think your shit don't stink. That's exactly what happened. And then later he got the final laugh because it ended up costing me the opportunity because I basically told Bears Wire this is what transpired. I didn't know I can't wear a hat. None of them informed me of it. And that is the truth. Brad Biggs and I, I'll be the bigger man and go up to the guy if that's what it takes. But honestly, he has a great connection in the Bears office. We've talked about it. But other than that, I mean, it's breaking news. That's really all Brad Biggs is to me. I just see a guy that, and we've talked about this before, the guy that doesn't like his job or love it or appreciate it, it reads in his energy on the radio and it reads in his writing to me. And great that he breaks the news first, but I'm going to get my news one way or the other from Adam Schefter or Adam Johns or whoever else is going to break the news. That, to me, the football end of it just, it stinks of shit. So I'm glad he's listening to me, Brad. You know, if you want to hash this out next year, Aldo, maybe you could set up a me and Brad Biggs.
I think that the headline here is because you revealed that he has blocked you on Twitter, so clearly Lauren is incorrect.
I didn't block him.
He blocked you, right? So he cannot read your tweets. So clearly Lauren was wrong in that he's not reading your tweets anymore, hasn't for years, and so clearly Brad Biggs must be listening to Bears 100 Proof, because this is where you've laid down some anti-Brad Biggs comments. So the message here is for Brad Biggs to please come on, bring your cigars, bring your Millers, and in fact, we can do this at a bar. Phil is out in Connecticut, so we will phone him in. Brad, you and I will have a few beers, light up a couple cigars. We'll patch him in, and we'll hash this thing out between the two of you guys to see if you guys, if this isn't just some misunderstanding or whether there's some true animosity here. I will play Dr. Phil, the TV doctor.
The mediator.
And we'll get Shayne on here, too, because as the smartest man, Shayne could potentially help mediate this whole situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Shayne and him are boys.
Are you?
Yeah, I might be able to.
Shayne takes all his digs at me.
I think, Mr. Biggs may or may not follow me on Twitter.
He's following Shayne to find because Shayne will retweet my shit. And that's how he that's what it is, Aldo.
No, because actually the way that it works is if he's blocked you on Twitter, he cannot read any of Shayne's retweets. I think that's the way it works.
But he can press and hold.
But he can see our retweets of when our show's coming out, though. So maybe he knows that schedule. And he's listening.
He's definitely listening in.
Well, yeah, I told Lauren, Lauren, Brad Biggs spends a lot of time by himself. I don't think he's married. I think he's in the car a lot, driving to from airports and so forth. So he's listening to Bears podcasts, and I'm sure he's come across this one because I don't know if you people out there know it, but this is one of the fastest growing podcasts, Chicago Bears podcast,
worldwide,
in the globe, in the United States, in America, and throughout
Canada,
and Canada.
What you talking about?
So
bitches in Toronto love this show.
Now I got to add on to the story. My story is not nearly as good as Phil's story, but the reason this came up, the reason I learned about it was because at the Senior Bowl, I walk into the weigh-in, and I'm standing there on the side. I got there a little late because I had a massage that morning anyway. So the weigh-in had already started, and then in walks...
want fluffy pillow?
In walks Brad Biggs with Dave Burkett, who writes for the Detroit newspaper. And so both of them are... Free Press, there you go. Both of them are standing in front of me, and Brad looks over at me and gives me like this 3-second stare. And I didn't...
He thought you were me, too.
Exactly. That's what I wondered. That's what I immediately wondered. And then, I continue to watch the weigh-in, and I look over at Brad, and there he is again, looking at me. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck's going on? Normally... I sometimes, I shouldn't say normally, but sometimes I get kind of a, what the fuck you looking at look on me. But I didn't want to do that in a professional setting. So I, just kind of plainly with no expression looked back at him and kept looking at him to see when he would disengage. And he disengaged. But a few seconds later, a few minutes later, there he was looking at me again. And so I'm starting to feel now uncomfortable, Does this guy know that I'm with Bears Bar
Does he
Room?
think you're cute?
Yeah, does he want to smoke my cigar? So, it happened time and time again, and it just so happens it's one of those freaking days where everywhere I turned around, there was fucking Brad Biggs. He's looking at me again.
He's everywhere, Jerry.
It's lunchtime, and there's this huge freaking line of every media person and their lover in line, and who's at the back of the line? Brad Biggs. So I cut actually.
He's everywhere.
Yeah, I wanted to get an interview with Patrick Moo, who's the coordinator at the Senior Bowl, and he was outside. So I cut right in front of Brad, and I go outside and I wait for the interview with Brad Biggs. So half hour, 45 minutes later, I'm done with the interview, and I go to get some food. Who's still in fucking line getting seconds? Brad Biggs. Brad Biggs. So
he's like the demon house.
I start to tell Lauren this story, and then Lauren interrupts me and says, "No, I got a better story." That's when he shared this story. And I go, "Yeah, that is a better story." So you got to share that on the show. And thank you, Lauren, for sharing that story on the show. Actually,
does this guy even look like me? Can we get a picture of this kid?
Yeah, I want to do that, and I'll also
we
post.
Get a doppelganger.
Am I gonna need to reach out to Mr. Biggs and see if he'll come on the show?
Patch this up.
Yeah,
we need to do that. See if we can grease the skids a little bit and get him on the show, and maybe we can have a little love connection here on Bears Barroom.
Oh, I'd love that. I'd love that. You know what? I actually think that Brad is a very good reporter. I've been critical of him at certain times, but when you look at the body of work that Brad Biggs, it's a big body, big body of work.
He's a big body. Takes a $20 cab to get around him.
He's done some really good work. He's very well respected in the sports journalism business, and rightfully so. But there is something, strange about how often he was looking at me. So, and then obviously
like,
the bigger issue is Brad.
Is he from Canada?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But yeah, reach out to Brad. He's definitely got a stool.
Reach out to Brad. I will put bygone. Can we start from scratch, Brad? We start from scratch.
I'll just tell. Maybe this will work. I'll say, Brad. Basically, he was only telling you to fuck off.
Just basically.
Basically, it was the full blown fuck off.
If you're walking down and someone gives you the, "Hey, how you doing?" head nod, and the facial grin of like, "Hi, how you doing?" and I say hello, and I go to I don't remember if I went to reach out and shake his hand and he didn't. I would tell you 100%. But it was kind of like this cold energy walking by, like Aldo's described, like this anger, of this glare. And it was so fucking weird that I responded that way, because I tried this, "How you doing?" And I even mentioned his name. They're listening. Like, I had never met, what was the guy? Morrissey, I believe he is. One of those two guys, Shane, on that podcast. One of them. I'm going over and asking Cutler about the tight ends. And at the time, it was the kid, former chief from Iowa. And what was that kid's name? I thought he was playing pretty good. The Samoan kid.
Yeah. Shit. He was hurt.
Yeah, exactly. So I was asking about Zach Miller, him. They're coming off injuries, and it was a great question. Jay really lit up. They go on to the next question, and Morrissey or one of these guys he's like, "Phil, that was what he knew my name." So it's like they know who you are and shit like that. It's just our presence at Bears Barroom. They listen to the show. I've gotten players that tell me they're listening to the show. Former people in the NFL listen to the show. Aldo, you do a great job. Why shouldn't they listen? So we can have a peace pipe. I'll have my peace pipe. You can have a cigar. We'll piece it up, Brad.
I love it. All right. looks like it's going to be a 3-hour show. Let's try to get it in under 3 hours. So let me close the show by going into this segment where we're talking about the most interesting, the most beautiful person in the world. And this, of course, started
the most beautiful human being. Get it right. I can hear her.
Okay, but what does that mean? What, is she saying?
It means any genre.
Physically the
yeah.
most? Okay, so it's not about, their personality or anything like that. So we're talking about
Shane, how did you take it? Because I sent it to the boys that day when I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she's a huge, what you call her, Riri? Big Riri fan.
Rerun.
She's obviously a huge fan. We know that Nikki loves Oprah Winfrey and Bears Girl loves Rihanna. But she's a good looking girl, but I don't think I'd say she's the most beautiful human being on the planet.
So that is the debate here, is that whether Rihanna is the most beautiful person in the planet. Okay, so Shane obviously disagrees with Bears Girl, and Phil, you agree with Shane, correct?
Right. Yes.
All right. Well, this is really.
I agree with Shane.
This is really probably the most boring segment we've ever done. Well, let me just tell you that I personally think that Rihanna is an incredibly beautiful woman. Her eyes and her lips are captivating, mesmerizing. I would put her as one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. Now, the most beautiful human being, whatever the fuck Bears Girl said, I don't know about that. But I got a feeling that I got more of the hots for Rihanna than you two guys put together, because I think she's gorgeous.
Is she wearing a camisole?
A camisole.
The less she wears, the better.
So we put the drop in finally here.
Phil, let me ask you this question. So who are you putting at the top of your list or near the top of the list as the most beautiful human being?
Honestly, I would have to do a research.
Jay Cutler.
No. Hell no. That would be AC. Shout out to AC. But I would honestly, I just saw that. It was just so over the top. Almost like somebody wanting to sign Drew Brees and hire Pete Carmichael. It's so far over the top. The most beautiful human being on the planet. So to be continued, can we put a vote out there?
No, you got to answer it.
I don't have a most beautiful. Do you have someone, Shane? I'll think of somebody. I could come
up with somebody like.
Go ahead.
Jessica Alba is gorgeous.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
Puerto Rican chick.
Is she Puerto Rican?
Yeah.
Is she?
I think so.
He's just throwing it out.
No, I'm pretty sure she is, man. I can smell him from a mile away.
No, there's.
How about the girl Jeter dated? She was on Friday Night Lights. What's her name? Minka Kelly.
Minka Kelly.
Kelly.
I like that.
Maybe I should just say this girl, Hila Concepcion, that I know.
Hey, I got a feeling I know why Rihanna.
That was her maiden name.
Yeah.
I would think that would be fucking.
Yeah, that's Spanish.
Hispanic.
Yeah.
Concepcion.
Does she have
big world?
Does she have some Spaniard blood in her?
And she's got some Marsaw blood in her.
I was going to say, if you were supposed to say no, and then I was supposed to say that she wants some.
I knew where you were going.
Fucking smartest man.
All right.
I didn't even get to do my smartest man poems.
Oh, fuck.
People are going to be upset. They're going to be upset. There's going to be a fucking picket line on Shane's Twitter line.
Why?
Oh, no.
Well, you failed so miserably 2 weeks ago that we decided we'd give you 2 weeks off.
Yeah, really.
They're giving me more time to prepare.
There you go, Aldo.
I think you should.
Phil fucked it up so much, we'll open it up to the public.
Yeah, exactly. So let's just somehow.
I actually have done that. Oh. I've asked a few barflies.
Excellent.
You're busting my fucking balls. Even barflies that have extreme love for me. They're in the cult.
Poles.
They're in the cult of poles.
Hey,
they are busting my balls.
Check
on
this out.
My rhymes.
Check this out. I just got a hold of Rihanna, and I told her that, Phil, you are not at all interested in her. You don't think that she's very attractive, and here's what she's got to say.
Height. I am a tall girl, and I like wearing tall shoes. So I don't like being taller than
It's so disappointing because last time you were in here, you.
I mean, oh my God, you are so amazing. I can hear Bears Girl now. I completely understand.
I want to thank Bears Girl for sending me that clip. She has taken over Dustin Padilla's role as producer of the show.
So I'm going to come back next week with some fire, hot rhymes for the dumbest tweets.
Make sure
you better
they
bring
rhyme.
those tweets, bro.
Make sure they rhyme this time.
Oh, they're rhyming. Now I'm going to open it up to all of our listeners. If you have your Shayne based, remember, Shayne is the target. You have him based rhyme that you want me to put to the smartest man. Send it to me. If you know the show, how it goes, he's the smartest man. Then you say your rhyme. We're going to bring them. So you guys are going to be surprised because some of the ones, I got to admit, Aldo, they fucking spit and fire, some of these barflies. So now I'm opening it up to the whole worldwide
Twittersphere. Yeah, there you go.
Bears 100 proof. So here we go. Send them to me, and you know what? The one that we choose, I'm gonna send you something. I don't know what it is yet. Aldo's gonna have to pay for it.
It's basically gonna be nothing. But you'll get something.
I'm gonna get him something.
Well, I tell you what, Phil, you want to share one of them right now? I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to go through the process of finding the music, but
you guys.
Don't let
I don't want to share. I don't want to share any because I want people to be surprised. I want you to tune in next week.
What a tease for next week. Tune in next week to hear Phil. All right.
You want one? You want one?
No, please.
Okay. That's pretty good.
All right. We're at that portion of the show where we say goodbye. Shout-outs is typically something we do every week, but I think we should skip it this week. What do you think?
Yes. Fuck that. You don't need shout-outs. Skip them.
No charge.
I just want to shout out everybody down at the Senior Bowl. Phil Savage, Rob McLockie, the PR person, Danny Shimon, Phil Rainey, our draft analyst. And I also West Coast Phil. I also want to make sure that people understand that Danny Shimon and Phil Rainey are going to be providing written scouting reports on over 200 players, and what separates their scouting reports from other scouting reports you'll find elsewhere is that they're going to take a look at how that player can or cannot fit into a Bears scheme. So they're going to take a look at it from that perspective, and that's what's going to make it perhaps a little bit more interesting than other scouting reports that you will find. But these guys are highly qualified. They've studied under Greg Gabriel, a fan of the show, good friends with Draft Dr. Phil, and so, and then don't worry, because Draft Dr. Phil and Shayne Marsaw will be sharing their opinions on all these players. They too watch tons of tape, and so we've got this whole draft coverage thing down. We've got it coming from all angles, print, video, podcasts, so forth. And that's going to make it a hell of a lot of fun for all the barflies and anyone that's a draftnik out there and wants to get the perspective of people who really know what the hell they're talking about. So I wanted to make sure I got that out. Phil, anyone that you want to give a special shout out to? Don't give me that long fucking laundry list of everybody that you know.
Well, I want to shout out. I want to congratulate Lauren Cox.
Oh yeah,
on his promotion. He did start with me. I consider him a very good friend, and I just give him the graces that he does as well as we all believe he's and congratulate him. I want to shout out Bob Phelan because I thought Bob really stuck his neck out there. You know, he's a huge barfly.
Yeah, he is.
And he created these stickers and now he's adding on to the bar room and having a bar room game, a box. You pick a box. If you haven't, get on Twitter. If you just listen to the show, try to get on Twitter. If you're listening on YouTube or Facebook, go on Twitter. Give us your number. Send an email to Aldo if you have to, or whatever, to the bar room. Put your number that you want. I forget how many boxes there are. 99, I think?
I think so.
With the chance to win these Bears barroom stickers. I have some, so if I win, I'm gonna give that to somebody who has stepped up in the pocket. So
you should
I want to shout out
Phelan. You should include the famous Chicago Bears Philatosian hat from Patriots camp that you just talked about.
That's a good one. That's
Should
a good
I get
one.
the hat?
Yeah.
I do have a hat I wore back in 1990s. My wife found it in a box. Thing is in mint condition. I have hats galore though. I'll give a hat away.
No,
I don't know if I'm giving that. The hat I actually wore. The Patriot hat.
That's
you
the whole
gave
point.
that hat to me, Shane.
It's all good.
Give it away.
It's
a classic. It's my favorite hat.
Goes hand in hand. The Brad Pitt story. Come on.
All right, I'll give a hat away. Not
A hat.
that hat. No, I'm sorry.
Right, but let me interrupt too and tell you that Bob Phelan sent me a bunch of those stickers, and so I have them, and so I want to hear from barflies who don't win it in a contest. You know, do you want to buy them? I got to send a check to Bob Phelan, by the way, just reminding myself because I bought them off of Bob, and so I've got all these stickers and stuff, and I know that a lot of barflies were interested in purchasing them, so I'm going to make some available for purchase. Let me know,
there you go.
And then the other thing is, we'll make some available for some of the contests that we want to run over the spring and summer months when we're not as in depth with football news. We're just going to have some fun and do some different things here. All sorts of contests. Talk about things that might be off the football trail.
Got a lot planned.
We do. We got so many great ideas on stuff, and so we're going to do some experimenting on with some stuff and just have some fun. And it always gets back down to football because we are anticipating a fabulous 2018 football season with this new coaching staff, new personnel that's coming via free agency in the draft. Hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things. And so I'm going to leave it there, guys, and tell everybody that if you drink, please do not drive and always bear down.
Bear down.
One whole show, no Phil music. For the win.
No, you gotta have the opener, you fuck. You gotta fucking open the show. The truth.
Yeah, typically I rolled the open for the guys to hear, but I was so busy putting together that Shane Smartest Man ad and the Lawrence story that I didn't get around to doing the open. So maybe I will include your theme song, and maybe I won't, Phil. We'll see.
Don't fuck it up now, Aldo. Don't fuck it up now, Aldo.
Who's your bigger star?
Oh, boy.
Who has more followers on Twitter?
Oh, my God.
Who's getting into fights with Brad fucking Biggs for you?
Man, I'm gonna get Lawrence Holmes and Brad Biggs to come on the show.
Lawrence.
Lawrence
Oh
Holmes.
my God! Don't start
Another
me about
peace
that.
pipe needed there. Yeah, we need to list all of Phil's enemies and try to get them on the show. That would be one hell of a spectacle.
Lawrence Holmes is.
Here
Oh
we
my
go.
God! That was the biggest pussy ass fucking troll job I've ever fucking seen in my life. Are you kidding me? I'm fucking talking to Hub Arkish through because Hub didn't have Twitter. I'm talking to you, Lawrence, because you're the host of the fucking show. I'm not going to call up the show and have you control the fucking phone. I hear how you do it. Hub was talking about Charles Tillman, the turnovers and all this other stuff isn't enough to get him in the Hall of Fame. And I said, I just don't get it. He clearly has the numbers. He clearly was a tremendous football. Is he a first ballot like Urlacher? No. But to say he's clearly not was the dumbest shit ever. So I'm telling Lawrence that. And then me and Lawrence are kind of going back and forth. He's like, call the show. I fucking not calling this. You go, hello, you're on the score with Hub. Yeah, Hub. Yo, Kyle Long, what do you think? Oh, he's terrible. They hang up on you. That's not what I wanted. I just wanted that conversation to go. So then he's saying I trolled? He's calling me a troll? Fucking troll. Fucking nut. Fuck out of here. I've never trolled in my life. If I have, I apologize. I'm embarrassed.
Maybe he's talking about your diminutive size.
Yeah, that must be it. Talk about a fucking troll. He fucking
Oh my
got
God,
6
who
chestnuts in
the
his mouth.
hell cares?
Lawrence Holmonica.
Man, I want to see not you guys on the show together, but I want to see you and Lawrence Holmes in the ring. Mano a mano.
I would take him on. I think he's my size too.
I think you guys are both featherweights, definitely.
So let's go at it. Let's go at it.
Shane, who would you size up in the ring
Yeah,
with?
Shane.
You want to go up against Peter King or somebody like that? You want to go national,
I'm gonna
right?
fucking take on Man Bun.
No. Mine's easy. I can't believe you fuckers haven't talked about it. Come on.
Lemming?
I'm going to kick somebody's ass. Jason Lockenfor. I'm going to straighten them fucking...
Oh, that's not a match.
I'll straighten those fucking eyes. I'm going to hit him so hard his eyes will be straight when I'm done with him.
Oh man, that would be a good one. Jason Lockenfor in the ring.
I would love.
That is kind of a mismatch because Shane, you're in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, he's so
Lockenfor
big. He's a big tight end,
is
Shane.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Lockenfor looks like he's a fucking kicker for the fucking Penn State Lions.
He's a soccer player, Phil. Remember? He's a soccer player.
Oh God. How are you covering an insider and you're it's a Saturday?
Yeah.
Remember, Shane? College football. It was like October 31st, like that weekend of Halloween. He's talking fucking World Cup soccer or some shit.
Go back to the 2011 or 2012 draft when Rappaport and Glazer paid a kid to funnel the picks early to Lockenfor that were all wrong. He's going on NFL Network when he is there telling the picks. And he's like, oh, well, all right. Well, he went on for a good half an hour. It was crazy.
From what I'm hearing, the next pick is going to be Jimmy Flanagan.
All right, fellas. I think we got another 3-hour show.
Yes, we did, fuckers.
I think we,
Brad.
Remember, you guys aren't old enough for this, but there was an old Dick Van Dyke show where he did like a 24-hour radio show. I think we need to do that. Just stay up all night. 24 hours of just fucking talking and drinking and farting and all that stuff.
Yeah, we'll all need to be in the same room for that one, I think.
I think you're right.
I've had several DMs, so that's more than 3 that have been like, dude, I love it because I'll listen to your show on my way to work. I'll get out of work, I'll listen to your show, and it'll last me the whole week of my drive time. And it's been consistent. I listened to your show over the course of 3 days. It was awesome.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
So it's like, we're bringing it, guys. And I know it. I love you guys. I know Shane, I give him shit. But you guys bring it. Aldo. I can't be more impressed with what Barroom is bringing and the direction. Just go to the iTunes, leave a review there, like us, do that little bit of extra. Let other people know it's working, and we appreciate you guys, even though Shane, mind you, didn't want to give a shout out, y'all.
Oh my God, they've heard the same shout outs the last 6 months.
I had new shout outs today.
They come next week. All right,
I was in the pool.
I'm running out of music here. I'll see you guys. Have a nice evening, fellas, and thanks very much.
Love you.
I got a boner.